The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, June 18th, 2025. This program begins now.
Sports
Are happening, and a champion has been recrowned. Ladies and gentlemen, last night, the Florida Panthers completed the journey of a back-to-back Stanley Cup championship run for the 13th time, and have become the 8th franchise to accomplish such a feat. Congratulations to all the Florida Panthers fans and the Florida Panther. Okay, Darius J. Butler's pouring a beer in the baby Lord out here. It's celebratory of back-to-back. Obviously, that would not be a celebratory beer, of course, not Darius J. Butler here, 9-year NFL vet, lifelong Florida Panther fan. And if you go back 5-10 years from now, Florida Panthers were absolute shite. Yeah. Nobody talked about them. Over the last few years, though, they have become a dynasty. Through and through. 2 Stanley Cup championships, 3 straight finals, and a team that is locked and loaded to represent hockey, how hockey's supposed to be played every single night that they step onto the ice. So many stars, so many studs, and a guy in the net that you never put a question mark next to. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers becoming an official dynasty down there, and the elbow room has been popping off, just like Darius J. Butler has been all morning walking around with this particular tarp on.
Okay, great time to have one. You mentioned 5-6 years ago.
That is not water or pop. That is beer. That is
ice
that is gold.
So apple juice maybe. But yeah, you mentioned 5-6 years ago. I remember growing up, being in elementary school, middle school, and you get like the honor roll. You get a little, coupons. Get 2-4 tickets to the Panthers game. Get some of Publix, get a pub sub, maybe get a couple Panthers tickets on the way out. So Barry Zito and the boys have built down there, back-to-back champions, been in the Stanley Cup final 3 times in a row. I mean, unbelievable. Shout out to the lads, everybody. Who's that?
Scary Barry. Scary Barry's the guy that runs the facility. Bill Zito.
Oakland A's.
I'm sorry, Bill Zito.
Barry. Scary Barry.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Barry Zito's the dog.
But everybody down in the elbow room celebrating this for you, for all the lads down in South Florida. Here we go.
Yep. To the head we go. Congrats to the Panthers. And
full beer in that thing.
Got it, baby.
Maybe vodka work.
You're there in spirit.
That's what it's all about.
You're there in mindset.
I'm on the beach.
You're there in sobriety. Yeah, Stanley Cup is going to be taken into the ocean, and Stanley Cup is going to be taken onto a beach, and the Stanley Cup is going to be dumping beers off the top of the elbow room for the next foreseeable months as you look at the summer. We currently have a live shot from the patio cam down there at the elbow room. Obviously, the place is packed out outside. It spills into the streets. Everybody down there is having a blast, enjoying being the state of hockey. Back-to-back Stanley Cup championships is obviously incredibly difficult to do. A lot of people say you got to get lucky with injuries, but then we learn afterwards that their stud, Matthew Tkachuk, the man who represents what American hockey is all about.
Hell yeah.
Dog. Guy who's been good to our program, has come on our show and chit-chatted about the culture down there. He had a chance to get interviewed after winning his 2nd straight Stanley Cup, and this is what he had to talk about as an update on how his life has been since the 4 Nations, basically.
I tore my adductor off the bone, and then had some hernia thing, and all on the same side. And wanted to throw in the towel a bunch of times. I'm sure. I got to thank a lot of people, for getting me healthy enough. I'm sure I wasn't the easiest to deal with. My fiance did a great job at the house on days where I probably wasn't in the best mood coming to the rink. The trainers, maybe when I wasn't in the best mood, when I was in pain. I just owe them so much, the doctors. And I really didn't think I'd be playing, or at least playing to my capabilities. So the longer the playoffs went, the better I felt, and I owe that to the guys for giving me some wiggle room to feel good.
Yeah, just got to skate. Don't worry about the adductor that is ripped off the bone, and then hernia on the same side. And then you think about that compounding on top of all the other physical ailments, I assume, happening through a hockey season. You earned the right to have that particular moment in the middle of the change room as the entire place is going upside down to pink. What a banger. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Daughter Mackenzie loves that song, by the way. I would like to thank Miss Roan for that song because that was the first one me and my daughter really started dancing to, and now she has the rhythm of the beat every single day of her life. But they were celebrating with that afterwards, having the time of their lives, because this is so much hard work. The hockey life, okay, obviously they play a shit ton of games. Let's go to Nikki Skates in the back. How many games in a regular season is
82.
it? Then you play all the playoffs, best of 7 series. Then you obviously have preseason and everything like that. So you got 95, 100 games, okay? And hockey is brutal. The ground does not give it all. People talk about the surface of turf being hard. The old AstroTurf is hard. Obviously, grass can be hard. But at least there's a little bit of give. Even if it's on top of concrete, you put it there. Ice is just concrete, okay? That is hard. That is what that is. The amount of falls, the pads they have on, they have pads on. But it's what kickers' pads used to be like when they're walking out there. Just not real pads. And then obviously they're playing with a puck that's getting shot, 100 miles an hour, and they're putting their face in front of it. So the amount of beating that these hockey players take throughout a season just playing hockey, let alone if there's something a little extraordinary, like a big-time shot, maybe a cross-check to the teeth, maybe to the back, something like that. You just get your ass beat for 82 games during the regular season, then, now it's the most important time of year. So for a team to be able to do that all season, then to be able to climb the mountain of the best 7 series in some would say the most intense playoffs because of how fast it's going, how much is at stake, how much can change, and how these barns get. These barns are outrageous. You think back to some of these teams that were involved, Carolina Hurricanes and the Caniacs. I mean, that was a hell of a run during this entire playoff run. There was none of the big 6, the original 6 teams that were in the playoffs this year, so everybody wondered how it was going to go. Well, the hockey was fantastic. The Stars showed up in a big way. Connor McDavid was all the way to the finals yet again. They lose yet again. Now people are saying McDavid needs to get the hell out of here.
He's gone.
Maybe.
So many different storylines developed, and then one came to a beautiful, maybe beginning. This dynasty in Florida is seemingly going to be impossible to stop. They have a lot of free agents.
Yes, they do.
And we have some good news. We'll be talking to general manager of the Florida Panthers, Bill Zito, in about an hour or so. And I cannot wait to ask him a lot of questions about what he does going forward. Hey, let's live in the moment, Bill. Okay, this guy used to be an agent. Okay, obviously used to be a coach for hockey. He loves the sport of hockey. Now he's general manager of a dynasty in the middle of it, and he got some big names that are up there. I think 3 of the top 5 pending free agents in the NHL are all Florida Panthers players.
Yep.
This group is very, very good together. Going to have to lose some people. Obviously not going to be able to pay everybody. How do they keep this going?
Maybe.
Who knows? We shall see. What's that, D-Bud?
Maybe Bill can figure it out. But, the boys, the squad is stacked. And everything that you've seen after just shows you who they are as a team, real family. And I love, every team kind of does their own thing when they win the Stanley Cup. Obviously, it starts out with the captain getting out there. But them passing that thing off to all of the first-time winners of a cup, regardless of what role they played on the team, how much time they played. Some guys didn't even play for them to get in. Obviously, it gets to Marshall, who's won one before, and then it goes around. It was just an unbelievable moment, and that whole squad is stacked. Hopefully Zito can bring the guys back, but it's tough. You know how it is.
A lot of money. I don't know how they'll be able to pull it off, especially in the NHL, but maybe they will because they understand what they're in the middle of, which is chasing all-time greatness when it comes to conversation. Let's go to the talks table, obviously, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Marshy goes down to Florida, fits in perfectly for them, especially as Tkachuk is out. Marshy was able to fill the role. Then they finally are all able to get back on the ice, and it's magic immediately. Culture fit, the way he plays. He's not scared to be a menace, and that's a team full of menaces that play hockey in a tough, menacing fashion, but they're also wildly skilled. He got a chance to play on a third line against maybe lesser opponents than he had when he was at the Boston Bruins. Wins a cup immediately, his second ever Stanley Cup. maybe this is just the beginning of his Florida Panther run. Is he going to be remembered forever as a Florida Panther because of how great he played in this particular postseason? What a time for Marchand to get traded to a team that's in the middle of a dynasty.
Yeah, it's awesome. When the Panthers first won the Cup, those first few moments, you're pissed off, okay, as a Bruins fan. Not only just because hockey's done, but just the thought of Brad to what you just said. Hey, people might only remember him as a Panther. I don't think that'll happen because it has occurred in the past where legendary Bruins have left. Ray Bourque wins the Stanley Cup. He actually brought it back to Boston. But I was so pumped for Marshy. Immediately, you're kind of cursing the television, dropping names that probably don't need to be named, that have nothing to do with hockey. I was still mad at some Knicks fans. I called them all pissed off. I'm pretty sure I said some bad things about John Mellencamp again last night.
We don't need to do that.
No, exactly. You don't, because then you remember, it's so nice that Brad Marchand's able to do this. And he's one of those free agents. I think he does end up staying. There was a tweet about just the team in general, about how close they were, how, on the road sometimes people get dinner at different points, but usually it was the entire team. Usually it was Bill Zito picking up the tab for the entire thing. I think something like that. Yeah, Ekblad, who's another free agent, one of those top guys, is the one that kind of talked about that entire thing. But it does make sense for everyone to say, Florida being the no state income tax. We talk about that with football, how important that is. I'm sure with hockey, it's just the same. And then you think about, the scene that they have right now in South Florida. That is the coolest place to win anything, whether that be, a Stanley Cup or
Marshy with the cup right now at Elbow Room. Yeah. Live shot down there from Elbow Room.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I don't know if you guys saw Marshy's family kind of do the Players Tribune thing, and they, were leaving voicemails for Brad, or I don't know how they do that, if they send them to the Players Tribune and then they put together a video, just being pumped for Brad, especially after the disappointment the Bruins have had the last few years and how big of a part of the Bruins he will always be. Having him, lifting the cup, how sweet that is. It's awesome. It stinks if you're not a Panthers fan, but it's cool.
Early reports are that there's already been a couple dings to Lordo in the overnight celebrations. There were some shots at 1:30 a.m. of Reinhardt, I believe. Barkov, captain, goes onto the ice and lifts up the cup alongside the arena employees. There's been a lot of celebrating. Obviously, we just saw Marshy out there at 1:35. Barkov brought Stanley Cup back out to the ice, and he's celebrating with you. Yeah, who knows how the suite is, but that's an entire building operation. I think last time we talked about to people in the Florida Panthers organization after they won the Stanley Cup, they're talking about how the entire building counts. Mm-hmm. And it's like, when you talk about culture, they got it.
Yeah.
You talk about going out to dinner, and 99% of the time, Bill Zito picked up the check. We need to check what that does with the salary cap.
Sure, no kidding.
No, Pittsburgh Penguins fans have some questions. But with that being said, your GM is paying for your guys' meals as you're all eating out together at this professional level. It's like, that's what you're looking. You're trying to bottle that as much as you can. And whenever it's a lot of like I saw a Dairy Queen trip too, I believe was reported about how they on the road they all went to Dairy Queen together. Then they lost or something. They were like, we need to maybe do this at home as well. So they all went to Dairy Queen. It's like they all live in the same area of town. They all do the same thing. They're all enjoying warm weather and being on the beach like 35 minutes away from here as Foxy's computer rings, I do believe. And Yep. That is what it was. Sure. They're living like a great community life down there. Now business is going to get in the way because you win a Stanley Cup. You're a part of a dynasty. Everybody wants your shit. There's going to be some people that are going to offer a lot of money, I assume, to some of these guys because they're going to want whatever that is in their building. Will they be able to sell the future down there in Florida? I have no idea, but I do know Sam Bennett's back.
Yeah.
And this guy won the Conn Smythe. He was the favorite through this entire thing.
He's one of the free agents.
Oh, shit.
They were chanting 8 more years.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There's no way they're going to let him go.
The future's going to be good. The future's going to be good. Sam Bennett's gone. Marshy potentially leaving, they're saying. Ekblad gone.
Marshy ain't going nowhere.
I'm telling you, though, this is a lot of work for Bill Zito to have to do this offseason. And it sucks that we're looking ahead already because of how great they were. But it's like Sam Bennett with 15 goals in the postseason. They said he was the odds-on favorite to win the Conn Smythe. Brad Marchand made a run at it there late because of how great he was. And obviously the whole team is incredible. But it's like, what What a run by a group. Coach Mo afterwards was asked, you have been on the record as saying this is the most talented team and your favorite team you've ever been around. And it looked like he didn't want to say his favorite team because obviously all your former players are listening. And he said that, but he said this is by far the most talented team and the tightest team that I've ever had. What a beautiful thing, especially when you've already been to the top of the mountain. You have that type of culture in place. It's that's going to be tough to emulate. If you're anybody else in the league right now, you got to be hoping that Bill Zito can't get the deals done with these guys. And if he is able to, it's like, how long can this go? It feels like they're very, very, very ready for the run.
It does look like that because, I mean, you look at Marshy's 30, going to be 38. Like, does he really want to go to a new team, a different team, a worse team, and try to win there? Or would he rather just, take whatever deal the Panthers can give him and try to go on a run to end his career and potentially get into the NHL Hall of Fame? And then, Sam Bennett's the one. He's 28 years old. He's the one who's going to get the biggest price tag. But if we talk about this all the time in the NFL, Florida, that state tax is a real thing. Like there's going to be a lot of teams that can't compete with that in that situation. So there's a chance all these boys stay together.
Yeah, there's a lifestyle too.
Yeah, driving golf carts to the beach.
Yeah, go golf. Do you think? I mean, look.
This is tampering?
Yeah. No. I mean, everything they're saying is basically recruiting as well. The pictures. I mean, it's just part of it. It's real. You're just telling the story. But you talk about the talent and like the culture, how much they love each other is one thing. Obviously, you need the talent as well. But you mentioned Sam Bennett kind of been the odds-on favorite. Like it was like 4 guys that could have realistically won it. Obviously, Marshy, Bobby in net. He's been all world pretty much the whole run throughout. Rhino, obviously, he wasn't going to win it, but Rhino had 4 goals last night in the closing game. So you talk about depth. Seth Jones coming over from Chicago, fitting right in. I mean, this is unbelievable what these guys done from the ownership. Obviously, it starts with ownership, GM, head coach, and then the whole squad, man.
I thought about Rhino with that hat trick last night. People at the Stanley Cup final, this is a good hat.
Yeah, sure, but. Got a new 2025 Stanley Cup champions around the corner.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. Hey, replays, throw that thing out there. What a moment in the Stanley Cup final clincher, having a hat trick. That is the way they've been celebrating that. I mean, there's more videos coming out of the elbow room. Obviously, they're dumping beer. I mean, the South Florida, as a Pittsburgh Penguins person, when South Florida wins a title, it's very easy to just say hockey. They're not. It's too warm down here. You guys don't even got ice. Yeah. Don't want to hear it. You know? It's hard not to just say that. Then you watch the way they acted. Then you watch the way the team plays. Then you watch how the fans react to how the team plays, which is a hard-nosed style. It's like the team and the fans go hand in hand. Like the fans love that that's how they play. And it's like they got some dogs down there. And I think their fan base obviously only going to continue to grow if you continue to win. Now, speaking of continuing to win, we need the Pacers to do that because the NHL's over now.
Oh, shit.
It's a good run.
It's a sports.
Good run, Oilers. Maybe next year, Connor.
Well, maybe he goes to another team.
I thought you were talking about me and the Bruins. And now you're talking about McDavid going to the Bruins?
No, he was talking about McDavid.
He needs Sid to teach him how to win.
Oh, Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should think about coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I know he's very close with Stoner as well. So.
Is he?
You think he's going to Las Vegas?
He might.
He needs someone of his peers. Stoner is great, but he's not.
People in Edmonton right now are like, boys, please, we saw this with Wayno. Okay, we don't need this again.
Oh,
sorry.
LA.
I mean, yeah, he could finish the Gretzky story. To be honest, I wouldn't mind him at the Utah Hockey Club.
Oh, the Mammoth.
Excuse me, the Mammoth.
Brand.
Tusk. I wouldn't mind him there either. I think that would be kind of cool.
Hockey Town would love him.
What?
You guys got a team still. That's great.
Yeah, one of the most historic teams in the whole league. We could really use a Connor McDavid.
Who owned that team for a long time?
Mr. Pizza himself owned it when the team was very, very good. Father Illich, we love him. Rest in peace. Ever since he has passed away, it hasn't been quite the same in Hockey Town. That's why we need a Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I think, the Red Wings are certainly one of those teams that's been playing hockey a long time.
Version 6.
Thank you for your service to hockey, Detroit.
Thank you.
But I mean,
That's very nice of you guys.
No
when
problem.
you say Hockey Town, I mean, you go back that live shot of the elbow room.
That's hockey. Hockey beats you guys.
That is. If you're paying a little more to the east, you will see the Atlantic Ocean. But
that's why this one's so much cooler, man. Like you just mentioned it about the fans. Like last year, there was probably so many people who were like fans of the Panthers who probably hopped on the bandwagon towards the end in the playoffs. Like that's what happens when a team is in your city and you're not really a fan of them. This year, probably all those people followed the team the entire year.
Yes.
The amount of new Panthers fans that are like newly diehard.
Good for hockey.
Yeah, great for hockey. And not like new bandwagon fans, like new, genuine Florida Panthers fans being there. Like it is sweet that they went back.
I don't know if anybody's drinking out there. That looked like more of like a bomb of beer as opposed to a pour of beer. Yeah, that's like.
Get a couple in there.
Dude,
I guess there's a couple people just boom. Yeah, I guess you get a couple drops.
Yeah, might be one guy with a huge.
Evans out there.
You know who's that guy, that DJ that throws the cakes?
Steve Aoki.
Yeah, Steve Aoki.
That shit's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
Cakes?
got a gun.
Cakes.
Oh,
you never seen this?
Have you ever seen this guy?
No. I mean, I know.
Sheet cake or whatever, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
It's this fucking huge thing of cake. And there's like I don't know. What's that thing you put down to like bake so it doesn't get stuck?
Like a baking sheet?
Like a baking sheet underneath. And this guy will, no handle, I don't think. No handle, just takes this thing. And then and we're talking like.
Dude, like that wall.
Yeah, like 15.
What?
Yeah.
He doesn't miss.
15 yards. Like I'm thinking first down.
Yeah, like Pat shooting a basketball.
Right in the face.
It's my bum.
Bang. Right here. Boom. I don't know if he's still doing it.
I'm pretty sure he did. Actually, funny enough, I think like last month I saw one of him doing it at a festival.
You've never seen this? It's
No,
over the internet.
I know
for like
I know
a
Steve
6 month.
Aoki is. I've never seen this gimmick.
It's a great gimmick.
Yeah.
He was just busting out these fucking sheet cakes too. I mean,
Who wants some?
You can get one.
Someone on someone's shoulders.
Boom. Duck on her with the sheet cake.
It'll be a mile ago now.
Anyways, NHL. Yeah, here he is. Hold on. No handles. Okay, you want it? Yup. You asked for it. Let me get you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Bang.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Skill.
This was the video that I was actually referring to. Good find in the back, Zito. Yeah, that's. And you can get it. Pow. Pretty square shot, too. That wasn't like a glancing
call
blow.
the shot, then,
Between the arms.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Incredible.
It's impressive.
We'll see if he gets down to elbow room, maybe toss some sheet cakes as the boys continue to toss beer from the Stanley Cup to the wild Panther Nation that is now celebrating being back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. But once again, a reminder, cold one, ice cold, like the ice they were skating upon in the beers that they are drinking currently. The NHL's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Now, all eyes are on tomorrow night here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as the Indiana Pacers look to extend the series. They lose, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are NBA champions. They win, and we got a Game 7 down there in Dahn, Oklahoma City. All eyes are on that man. That is the biggest on the right side of the graphic, Tyrese Halliburton. It is being chatted about that he will be a game-time decision for the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, he's the Olympic gold medalist. Some people are calling him the Moment, which I don't think is a nickname that will carry past this particular playoff run. Although he has shown up for all of the moments up until this point.
Correct.
Incredibly clutch, even though he's voted the most overrated player in the league by people around the NBA. So this guy, friend of the program, absolute dog, has changed the way this Pacers team and culture is in Indianapolis since getting traded here from Sacramento, alongside Pascal Siakam, who's been traded here from Toronto last year, fit in perfectly, was an NBA All-Star, was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, is a guy who would be a star on any team he played on. We got a great group here. But will Tyrese play or not? There's a calf soreness reported.
Yep.
There was an ankle before that reported. It's been a few games, it feels like, if you've been watching. And now, obviously, he has not played his best basketball. I think it is potentially difficult as a basketballer when your ankle and potential calf and all the other stuff. The reporting has all been like lower leg injury. We all see it, though, when he's running. I've sent messages of well wishes. Have not pried, though. Do not want to get involved. Game time decision. If he can walk, he'll play. And that's why we love you.
Hell yeah, Tyrese.
Now, on the other side, there's the Oklahoma State team.
Yeah.
They seemingly are fit, fresh, and ready for the challenge.
Yeah.
They're a very good ball club, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a good outfit. Yeah, and their fans, I think, if they were to win, would appreciate the moment. And that parade,
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Legit.
Yeah.
Think about the scenes that are. You remember Cleveland?
Yeah.
When Cleveland had the parade and it was like the whole state came out. I was in Indiana. I even thought about going out. Man, think about heading over to Cleveland. This looks like this would be a good time. Follow Braun around. And then they were shutting down flights into Cleveland. Do you remember that? Mm-mm. They were shutting down transportation into Cleveland at one point because there were so many people flocking for the parade, the first ever the Cavs.
That's
shutting down transportation in there. So then you think about what Oklahoma City will do. We've already seen them at 3:30 a.m. at the FBOs on their flights back from finals games. I assume that entire state will show up for this Oklahoma City Thunder team.
What's the population of Oklahoma City?
20,000.
You don't know the population of the team you're trying to take down?
That is an interesting thing. I should know. I think they got 13 guys on the roster.
Yep.
That's who we're trying to beat. That's who we're trying to top.
Exactly.
No, 15.
So,
15.
Shit!
Big 3 and a little 12 from who said that?
So I think
You did.
Yep.
population of Oklahoma City, 702,767. That's up 2023. You never know. these
Okay,
days.
sure.
A lot of people.
Need an updated census.
Indianapolis, 879,293. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 411,894. So that's Tulsa and Oklahoma City. We know there's other cities out there.
Oh, yeah.
Stillwater.
We love those cities out there.
Tulsa. Boomer Soonerland. Norman.
Absolutely.
There it
Norman,
is.
Oklahoma. That place is awesome.
What's the Oklahoma City?
Stillwater said that one.
Stillwater.
We check that one off the list. Hey, that Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, that place was awesome.
Yeah.
That place was beautiful.
Great game, too.
Great game. That place was awesome. They have a stadium for their softball team, who I am a big fan of.
Yeah, Patty Gasso.
Wanting to showcase a little bit better. Yeah. And it's as opposed to the complete opposite in that entire potential conversation piece. But that place was wild.
Yeah.
That fan. And now with the Oklahoma City, with the team that they have, they're young, ready to go. So you talk about like the Florida Panthers fans enjoying all year. Oklahoma City, all year, their fans have been like, hey, we're the team. Nobody's talking about us. We're the team. So the amount that they have to feel like fulfillment about what they've been saying about their team, I assume that parade and that celebration would be epic out there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they've already been through it. Like Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, they go to the finals. They have like a potential dynasty on their hands, and then those guys, they lose, I believe, to the Heatles, and they end up blowing that team up eventually, and so they never get back to the finals. Like they've been waiting for this for a long time. The reason Seattle wants a team so bad again with the Supersonics is because they moved that team to Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City was such a great fan base, and now unfortunately it looks like they are going to get the job done on Thursday. And then think about that parade possibly on a Sunday or a Saturday. I mean, it's the summer, so it doesn't matter as much, but still, if no one's working, I assume they call off work in the state of Oklahoma no matter what.
Yeah, I assume the governor will come out and say that it's deemed a holiday or something like that. Like, that's what it means. I don't think that gets talked about enough, I don't think it gets talked about enough, like how much these teams do for these cities. It always comes up whenever there's a new stadium or a new arena that needs to be built and there's potential tax dollars going in. Once again, not a fan of that. If I was a billionaire, I would want to own my building. I wouldn't want the state to own the building. But there is a business method that owners use that have state funds get used during taxes and everything like that. So it's always a debate on whether or not the state should send money to a new stadium or not. That is kind of the reason why teams leave. Usually that is the big talking point. So I feel like you should always own it. But whenever when you get a team that is representing of the entire city, there's nothing that can bring or cultivate people more. Like these Indiana Pacers games, the people that are showing up at those games, the people that are outside of those games, everybody in our city, like surrounding areas, everybody in the state, even parts of Ohio and Illinois, it's just like it rallies everybody. The amount of business, obviously, downtown, the amount of money and revenue that takes place, obviously immense. But just a sense of like pride that these smaller, not that New York doesn't. I'm not saying that because I was in New York whenever everybody was in the streets. You feel it. But out here, it feels like it's an entire state versus everybody. Like whenever Canada had Toronto on their run, they were like, it was the entire country of Canada was representing for Toronto. That's how it is. And I feel like Oklahoma's the same way. It's that entire area pulling for them. And Indiana's the same. And I hope Tyrese plays. And I hope this thing goes 7. But if Oklahoma City wins this, which there is a chance. I don't want to, there is a chance.
That Oklahoma City wins?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole thing or the next game?
There's a chance. I've come to the realization that there is a chance.
What are the books? Oh,
that the Oklahoma
shit.
Yeah, and it's changed. It's only gotten worse.
Yeah, the numbers as well.
And the sports books have been on. But it's like, I've come to the realization that the Pacers might not win.
It was a good season.
Got to play the game.
It's not over.
Got to play the game.
You can celebrate this season at least.
Kind of over.
Last year, we talked about how, after the Eastern Conference Finals, you can't even talk about it being a good run. This year, you can talk about this Pacers team as legendary. They fell short, but still.
Oh, we got a game to play.
That way, I don't like the way you. That's why I haven't even let it creep in. Because the way you guys are acting, I don't need you getting me roped into.
Well, who did we pick yesterday in the hockey game so we could get another hockey game in Game 7? The Oilers. And I'm not doing it again, okay? Because I came in here this morning and Bone, that fucking idiot, he goes, I thought everyone was on the Oilers. I thought you were on the Oilers. It's like, no, I just wanted the Oilers to win for another game. I'm not doing that again, okay? We all see the writing on the wall. It's over. I like
it's not over, man. We got another game.
No. Oh, you're not going that far?
But
these Pacers have been good to us.
Great to us.
If Tyrese isn't somehow miraculously 90 to 95% come tomorrow.
90 to 95%? Nobody's 90 to 95% at this stage.
Exactly. So it would be a miracle, but that's currently what they need. Wow. They need that. We can't be trotting Tyrese out there at 60% and say, hey, go do what you did all season.
That's when Tej comes
go out
in.
Triple top. Well, we know Tej is going to be going 125%.
Bingo.
That's what he does.
We need Tricky Ricky to pull a rabbit out of his hat. That's what we really need.
And he does. He has, and he does.
Maybe we come out in 1-3-1. Okay, tomorrow night. Just trapping the ball, trapping corners.
Trap. I like that.
Maybe they come out and just walk off the court and say, you know what? No, we're not playing without our best player. What the?
And then nobody will ever know if they would have won.
Bingo. And then what? Oh,
it's not a bad idea.
That's at home. That's going to be a tough move to do at home.
Yeah, but everyone will cheer for him. Like they'll put
I don't
up
think so.
messages.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't like the way what's happening. I think
It was a 2-point game, boys. Come on, we can't give up.
Thank you, Foxy. Foxy's on my side.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's why I didn't. Yes,
You're
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
More
True,
Tony
baby.
Bradley, please.
Wrong.
Bingo. Yeah. Let's get Tony Bradley running the point, maybe, Todd.
All right, let's talk about some.
What?
We have breaking news from the elbow room.
Oh.
Lordo is leaving the building.
Okay.
No.
You know where it's going now.
Matthew Tkachuk, I believe, has his golf cart outside of the elbow room to go back to the lifestyle that the Florida Panthers players are living. They just roll around from their house to different places on golf cart, go to practice, get better, go get in on a golf cart, pick up the kids, go have some ice cream, go back to the house, maybe go golf a little bit, get a lift in, and then just put that on repeat for their entire lives. That's what life is like as a Florida Panther.
It'd be tough not to want to be a part of this.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're coming back or if you're a free agent, be real
Recruiting
tough.
video.
Is that Rhino next to him? Who's next to him?
It's
That
so
is
hard.
Rhino right there, Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell because some of them shave their playoff beards.
Yeah, and it's also hard to tell because,
That thing's going to the other.
you know,
Ammonia.
We don't know what these guys look like.
yeah, we don't really get to do the FaceTime as much.
No.
With these Tkachuk, we know Tkachuk. Sunglasses, veteran play, been there before. It's his second Stanley Cup.
Yep.
You know, he knows like, hey, by the time 12:30 comes around Eastern, my eyes are going to be pretty bloodshot. Might be tough to keep them open with where I'm at, but would like the body to continue to party without getting judged by how my eyes look. Yeah, I'm tired. I haven't slept. Yeah, I'm pretty drunk.
Yeah.
I've been drinking out of this thing.
Yeah. Dehydrated too.
Yeah. You think I'm expected to keep up my hydration levels? Look at these eyes. I can't open my eyes.
Finished 105 game season.
Put sunglasses on, nobody questions. Just goes, this guy looks cool.
Yeah.
Look how cool this guy looks. He's got it all figured out. They're veterans and celebrating the Stanley Cup now. And them giving it to the first-time winners first is awesome.
That was awesome.
That is a cool play. That's like that team in a nutshell. Cannot wait to talk to Bill Zito at 1:15 Eastern time to chit-chat about how do you create a team like that? What do you look for, right?
Yeah.
And maybe Dubas up there in Pittsburgh will hear.
He's taking note.
Or share ideas. Or think to himself, man, that's how I go about picking a team. Because it feels like they got it figured out down there.
Yeah.
Feels like they got hockey figured out right now. And I assume they are a monkey see, monkey do league as well. So people trying to build a tough, physical, skilled team is a good thing for hockey as a whole, too, because they are fun to watch. All right, let's pivot away from the NHL because it's over.
Hell of a season, though.
Good run.
Great.
NBA still got 2 good games left.
Hopefully.
No chains.
2 more games left in the NBA. And then what are all eyes upon?
The W.
Agreed.
Club World Cup.
Agreed.
The Opens.
Not the Club World
Very
Cup.
few eyes.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom, maybe thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get out. I love it. I know people aren't going to like this. I like the Connecticut team doing what they did as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye. But I don't mind the
Physicality.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of like competitive, how you doing, keep it moving. Especially at the WNBA with how much is at stake. Right now they're at a pivotal time.
Yep.
There's a CBA coming up, I think. I believe there is some sort, because remember they were talking about holding out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
there is some sort, I believe there is a CBA coming up. So it's like there's an opportunity now. What is the pivotal time? It's like having good basketball, good. Having cheap shots, not good probably. But having like good competitive fire, I think great. And if Caitlin's going to continue to pull up from the fucking logo.
She will.
And drop it with no hesitation. Last night, double team, step back, sideways.
Bucket.
How you doing? Keep it moving. Then how about her to the bench afterwards with a?
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it was you like that, but that last one right here, this is a. Get to it. The punch is a. I'm the one. And
She punched somebody?
no, she punched
herself.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Shoot.
She punches herself, and she basically says, like, yelling in the face, like, fuck with me, basically. It was awesome. As soon as I watched it, I was so excited. Let them know is my entire thoughts. Because they were trying to body her a bit.
Yeah, big time.
They were trying to body her a bit. And she just, in their face, answers, dog. Sophie Cunningham coming in there, too.
She was barking the whole time, too, underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play, not a bad play.
You always need some. I don't know if they still call them. You need some goons on your team for sure, especially when you have a star like that. Yeah, when you have the golden goose, just like MJ was, when you had his teammates who would kind of protect him at times when the dirtbag Detroit Pistons had those MJ rules. So this is what the Grace is gonna go through. Candace Parker kind of went through this. She came in the league, but yeah, Caitlin Clark's gonna continue to deal with it, and she's a dog. She's an asshole. She's a competitor. She's cutthroat, and I love it. And what did this get him into the Commissioner's Cup?
Yeah,
Finals.
They won the East.
Let's go.
Wait, what?
They won the East of the Commissioner's Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, we're representing on the East and
Follow
the
the
Commissioner's
product,
Cup. And then on the West, we shall see. There's a lot of great teams up there. And we'll be excited to see who we got to take on for the first ever Commissioner's, second ever.
I think it's the second or third.
Yeah.
I think it's
Commissioner's Cup. Come on, let's go. We
go.
want that. Caitlin's awesome. And watching her in the games are electrifying. Even if one of the reasons is because how the other team acts towards her, that's a part of the reason to watch.
Yeah.
And then watching her figure it out. Last year she's a rookie and she was being treated like this, but the whole season. And her just having to transfer from Iowa into professional basketball. And then how she navigated it, changed her game, and then also took over. She started taking over. Yeah, she's the one. It's a league filled with a lot of greats. I'm not saying that she's the only talented person in the WNBA. I'm not saying that. But this is a part of the reason why she is awesome to watch. She is a needle mover. She's done a lot for Indianapolis already. We're appreciative. All right, let's move away from the WNBA. Good call.
Oh, yeah.
We won't be focusing on the MLB, but we will pay attention to MLB stories.
Yeah. I think that's, a lot of baseball left, so yeah.
But mostly NFL future conversations.
Sure.
And golf. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put those two together. Joining us now, a man who will be a fairway side reporter for
Yeah,
the Travelers.
He's inside the ropes.
He's inside the ropes.
You got a golf insider?
Mm-hmm. I believe pundit, analyst, insider for golf, and then senior NFL insider at ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing out there?
Let me get my golf voice ready for tomorrow. Let's whisper and see how it's done. How Rory McIlroy and Keegan Bradley are going to hit him from the fairway. Are we all ready for tomorrow? I think we are.
Okay.
I think we are.
Okay, so what are you? You're going to have that little pack on your back that you're going to have the connection and the ears. You're going to have a handheld, and you're going to be following them on the course. Is that your role tomorrow?
That's my role tomorrow. Basically, it's 18 holes with Rory and Captain Keegan. Be walking, and honestly, look, I mean, Robert Dameron's going to provide golf commentary, all the people back in the studio. I'm just there to observe, have a little bit of fun. I love golf. I love watching these guys, in all honesty. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I watch ESPN Plus. I'm like in this golf pool. I watch my golf or whoever I pick that week. I watch every shot that he hits. So this is just taking me up close and personal to these guys. And I had the chance to meet Rory last October. Jack Teraputo, the producer for Happy Gilmore, invited me out to New Jersey. They were filming for the day, and it was the day where Rory was there, Scotty Scheffler was there, Bryson was there, Brooks Koepka was there. Got to hang out with those guys for a morning. It was kind of cool. And, now we go out tomorrow to Cromwell, Connecticut, to the Travelers Championship, and I'm honored to be a tiny, teeny-bitsy part of the broadcast.
Yeah, ESPN Plus obviously has a lot of different streams to cover golf this year, and more specifically the Travelers, which is a signature event this year for the PGA, who's got a new CEO who we are all pumped up about in the roll-up world. Let's go, Brian. Let's go, Brian. How much of this do you plan on doing in the future? Because I remember whenever Woj retired, there was a thought that the other insiders would maybe just pick up basketball. And then you were potentially going to become a basketball insider alongside of a football insider. Are you thinking about becoming a golf insider as well? How much more of this coverage are you going to do? And what are the opportunities here other than just tomorrow?
Well, I mean, it's just tomorrow is the opportunity, to be honest. But I do think there is an opening in the golf space.
Yes.
And I think that in time, that's something that would interest me. Like, I love what I do. I'm very happy doing what I do. I want to keep doing it. But I've done it for 35 years, too. And, if you have grilled chicken every night, every once in a while, it's nice to have the stir-fried chicken and just mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so try some different things. And that's all this is. When I did the NBA sidelines, that was unbelievable. Like, I love it. And you know what it's like in the sports world. Like, when you were playing football, Pat, if there are athletes and entertainers that show up in your universe, they love to be a part of the football world. The people in the football world love to be a part of the athletes and the entertainment and artist world. So there's a little bit of overlap there. And I love stepping into a new venue where I don't know what the hell I'm doing tomorrow. I'm just there to try to observe, watch, learn, have a little bit of fun, and we'll see what happens. I have no idea. All I know is I'm thankful to have the opportunity, and hopefully I don't disrupt Captain Keegan and Rory in their backswings or anything like that.
Well, Rory needs a pick-me-up, so maybe you'll be the one that does it. And
get on the swivel.
Yeah, Rory's been tossing clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
careful.
Pretty good club tosser, though, if I might add. Maybe the best in Tour's history. That little bounce pass to himself with the club, I thought he was going to maybe throw it again. Could you imagine he throws it once, not good enough, throws it again? That would have been 2 club throws and 1 club throw. Mm-hmm. That would have been a combo out
World
here.
record.
We hope he's in a better mood, better spirits. Hopefully you're able to do that. Let's talk a little bit about football, shall we? Big conversation in Baltimore right now. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Oh, yeah, Lamar Jackson is making a little wave speaking about his former college teammate, Jaire Alexander. We got a little video right here.
Accomplished cornerback available. Have you gotten a chance?
Go get him, Eric. I love all our corners, don't get me wrong, but go get him, Eric.
Have you got a chance to talk to Jaire about coming here?
Yeah, I hit him up, but you don't know. You never know with Jaire. That's my boy, man.
Obviously, that's a franchise quarterback speaking there, so that's going to make waves. But what is the market out there for Alexander right now?
Well, I think the thing is that he's got interest from other teams. Like, Carolina is interested in Jaire Alexander, and there are other teams that are offering him, I think, more money than Baltimore can. But that relationship right there cannot be underestimated. I think they were college roommates together, Lamar and Jaire, and we're talking about Lamar speaking to Jaire, but it's gone both ways. Jaire's also reached out to Lamar, and I think that there's a mutual interest on both sides in somehow having this happen. Now, if they can get it together, great. If not, then they can't. But definitely the Ravens are in the conversation, and I think wherever he goes, the chances are it's going to be a one-year deal. He gets to become a free agent after the season. I think that's been part of the goal here. And he can hit the free agent market with a fresh slate after hopefully having a strong season. But I think Carolina's in play. I think Baltimore's in play. I think there are some other teams in play. And we'll see ultimately what Jaire wants to do.
Love that Carolina's in play. Love everything about that. And shout out to the Panthers fans who may be seeing some happy times with your team as opposed to laughingstock, which they had been for a long time. Let's talk about him saying he wanted to be a free agent after this year, basically a prove-it year. Well, you would want to win then. You would want to win. Like, so you would certainly, right? Because primetime games is probably what you would
Same conversation we have with the Panthers. Like, you always want to pluck, if you're another team, and pay guys that are coming from winning organizations.
Yeah, so you would think that the Ravens would have, let alone him being best friends seemingly with Lamar Jackson, and anything we know about that Baltimore Ravens culture, like Jaire would be great.
Yeah.
As a Baltimore Raven.
Coached by Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, Chuck Pagano's in that building.
Oh, yeah.
Jaire would love Chuck. I mean, that would be a great relationship between the two. But why not? Hey, come to Indianapolis.
I'm here, hey.
Come to Indianapolis, Jaire.
Good piece. The only thing with Jaire is health. If he stays healthy and he plays how he's always played in the league, he will be one of the highest paid corners in the league, I think.
Let's talk about the sack king of the NFL. Go ahead, Conman.
Schefter, reports about Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals talking again were reported. Is that real? Is that kind of BS? Is this the Bengals front office getting this out there so that they kind of look like the good guy here? And do you expect this deal to get done for about $30 million?
Well, they're talking again, but they're not any further along. Like, they're talking, it doesn't mean a whole lot right now. It'll mean something if and when they can figure out a way to get a deal done, which they've been unable to do so far. And you know, I think there's a disagreement over value, and I think most important, there's also a disagreement on length here, a length of deal. I think that's also an issue here. The Bengals would like a shorter deal. Hendrickson would like a longer deal, and they can't even find common ground on the length of the deal right now. Now, again, it's June 18th, so if it's still not solved by July 18th, that's more of an issue. If it's not solved by August 18th, then that becomes a real issue. But I think Trey Hendrickson is absolutely frustrated right now and disappointed with the way this whole thing has gone. And we see some of these other pass rushers getting paid. And look, it's in the best interest of both sides here, the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson, to get a deal done. There are your highest paid guys right now. The list is going to be increasing. Micah Parsons is going to become the highest paid defensive player in history at some point this summer. He's going to pass up Myles Garrett. And so I don't know that has a dramatic effect on Trey Hendrickson, but it could have some type of effect. And look, Trey Hendrickson, the last 2 years, more sacks than anybody, led the league in sacks last year, a guy you want in your locker room. But again, they're talking, but they're not any closer to a deal today.
Okay, so they're talking, not closer to a deal, but at least there's communication happening, you know, because for a long time there hadn't been, which I think Trey felt kind of disrespected by, if I'm picking through the way he has handled this entire situation, even going to a voluntary day. Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, where's the media? This is all bullshit. You know, he didn't say that exactly, but basically how he explained it is last year, 2 years ago, I thought this was going to happen. Last year, I thought this was going to happen. I was told if I do this again, I've just got the most sacks out of anybody. 3 years feels like the right one. Normally this would be a 3-year type deal. Are you thinking that Trey wants longer, Cincinnati Bengals want less than that?
I think that the Bengals would like a low deal, like 1 year.
Oh, okay.
1 year.
They would like a trial run.
Wow. Prove a year for wow.
I think they would like to boost what he's going to make probably for the final year.
Wow is right.
Like kind of what the Giants did with Saquon, right? When he wanted that running back deal.
Yeah.
They like boosted it for like 3,000 or something.
Yeah, it wasn't
or
that
$3 million,
much.
or maybe Austin Eckler.
No, Eckler had the boost, but with Saquon, he had the tag, and then they gave him like a $10.5 million
like an
instead
extra
of $10 million.
800,000.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just trying to give him a boost, and hey, you're going to make this. We're trying to boost it up to this, and then you'll be free. Interesting.
Eckler's was the one that was like $3,000 more. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was disrespectful. Yeah, that one we thought, oh, geez, I don't know if we want that one in to be made publicly. Okay, so that's Trey Hendrickson in the AFC North. Let's stay in the AFC North with a quarterback tackler. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Schefter, you talked about Micah being the highest paid defender of all time, passing Myles Garrett. You did not mention TJ Watt passing Myles Garrett. What's the latest on that situation? Do you think he will get more than Myles Garrett?
I don't know that he's going to get more than Myles Garrett. I think TJ Watt's going to get a nice, strong, healthy deal, and I think at some point in time, the two sides will be able to figure out a way to get this done. And I can't imagine that TJ Watt wouldn't be there for the start of training camp, that Pittsburgh would not get a deal done. We heard Mike Tomlin last week at mandatory minicamp saying that both sides working to make it happen. But TJ Watt's serious here. Like, he's seen all the money that's gone around, and he wants to make sure that he gets rewarded in the appropriate way. And again, I just think that these two sides will be able to figure out. I think Myles Garrett is in his own class. Like, Micah Parsons is 4 years younger, I believe, than Myles Garrett, and had more quarterback pressures, more wins against opposing offensive linemen. And Myles Garrett is a Hall of Fame defensive end, a Hall of Fame pass rusher. But Micah Parsons had numbers that beat his, and he's 4 years younger. And that's why I think Micah is going to become the highest paid defensive player. TJ Watt's going to get a really, really strong deal, but I don't know exactly where it's going to come in. I think I'd be surprised if it was higher than Myles Garrett.
How come everybody just assumes that deal's getting done? You know? That's how it's been. He missed mandatory minicamp. Everybody's like, a TJ Watt Steelers deal.
It's the Steelers, yeah.
Thank you.
Just because you think the Steelers will definitely get it done.
They'll figure out a way, and he's so important to that team and that city that it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't figure out a way to get it done.
But he has to think that they're not going to get it done, right? That's why he didn't go to mandatory.
Yeah, no. He said he opted to absorb the $107,000+ in fines by not showing up at mandatory minicamp. That's a big statement to make. Like, $107,000 is a lot of money. But if you're talking about $35+ million a year, what's $107,000? So he could afford to make a statement. That was what he opted to do. Tell them that he's not happy. He's so unhappy that he's willing to stay away, and that'll continue if the deal is not done in the right way.
So when this is like $38,107,000 a year, okay, for the next 3 years or whatever it is, we can obviously laugh about the fine, but everybody's just saying the deal is going to get done, the deal is going to get done, the deal is going to get done. And it seems like with the way TJ's operating is he doesn't think a deal at this stage is going to get done. I'm very intrigued by that. And I think JJ Watt came on and was like, I just feel like, from my perspective, whenever you do these deals earlier, you save yourself grief, you save anxiety, you save money, you do all these things. So whenever it continues to roll out, it's like Trey's dealing with it now. Obviously, TJ was dealing with it. Myles Garrett was dealing with it. Like, money can solve it, but it ultimately, Jerry Jones normally has to deal with this because he passes it off. It's like that number just goes up and up and up. And it's like, if you're going to get a deal done inevitably, let's get a deal done.
Especially with TJ. The record of when TJ plays versus when he doesn't for the Steelers, I forget the exact number.
But it wasn't with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, like, who wants to hold out longer? Does the team want to hold out longer? Or does the player want to hold out longer?
Somebody the Cowboys love. Jerry Jones likes it.
The drama.
Yeah.
You think that he likes the drama?
He likes it.
Yeah.
CD, Schefter just said Michael Parsons will be the highest paid. Like, why not just get that done now before somebody else?
I remember when Jim Irsay said, Andrew Luck's going to be the highest paid quarterback in history, brother. And everybody was like, just lost a lot of leverage there. Don't care.
Yeah.
We all see it, brother. It's like, yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. Intrigued by it all, especially decision makers and how they go about doing things. Last question for you. Speaking of that, there's a brand new decision maker in the land of cheese. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Schefty, we've heard from Packers' new CEO and team president, Ed Policy, about some of his new policies. And he basically said, hey, I'm not ready yet to give extensions to both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. How pivotal is this season for the Packers, not just for the team, to kind of take that next step, but I don't want to say these guys are on the hot seat, but how pivotal is this season that the Packers perform well?
I thought that was a very interesting statement. He said a couple of interesting things yesterday. He mentioned something about the fact that the Packers aren't exploring options of moving, and I'm like, the Green Bay when did we ever hear about the Packers moving? So clearly there's something going on with the stadium that the team is not happy with right now, that he's trying to get rectified and using some leverage. And he brought up the fact that he's not ready to extend Russ Ball, Brian Gutekunst, and Matt LaFleur. And I think Gutekunst and LaFleur have 2 years left on their deal. This is a time that a lot of teams would be doing deals if you believe in your guy. Right now, Ed Policy's taking over, and I think he's just taking a wait-and-see approach. The coaching market, the GM market is what it is. It's not like by waiting it's going to cost them a whole lot more, and each guy will have another year left on his deal after this year. But I just thought it was interesting that he would even open the door there to start that conversation, because at the end of the season, everybody's going to go back to Ed Policy and say, where are we at on Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur? And he set precedent by talking about it now, so you would expect that he would be, once again, willing to talk about it after the year, and we'll get a stance. If he all of a sudden says after the season, I'm not talking about that, well, that's not a very good sign for those guys. So I think we have an idea of where he's at right now. Wait and see. Both guys have done a great job. I would have thought that they'd be taken care of, but he's waiting and seeing on both.
I think if you asked him, he'd say, Ed Policy's policies are stern but fair.
Yeah.
Sure. He's saying, I'm going to have to see it with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got ideas. He's appointed by a board.
Yeah.
So then if the board has appointed this guy and he brings up we're not thinking about leaving Green Bay, that means there's probably some sort of something. Could you imagine the Green Bay Packers leaving Green Bay?
That'll never happen. That'll never happen. We can just
Ty's an owner of the Green Bay Packers.
We can end that right. Ed Policy was also the guy who basically started like the Titletown expansion. So like he knows what's going on around there. He's going to make sure that
Ed Policy's policies are good.
Yeah, bingo. He was also general counsel. Like Ed Policy's a bit of a big swinging dick, so he just needs to kind of get into his zone here, and he will. I like it. I kind of like it. Put their feet to the fire a little bit. I'm tired of hearing, hey, this is the youngest team. Like, Packers are coming on. They might challenge to win a Super Bowl this year, and then you get a first-round playoff exit. I like it. Hey, let's go. Let's have a deep playoff run, and then we'll talk.
Great first round of the draft. Great host of the draft. Anything else we should be chit-chatting about, either golf or football with you, Schefty, as we come up on a hard out?
No, but we wish good luck to your Pacers here tomorrow night. That's a big game for your team here, and we'll see whether Tyrese can go. That's a big deal. And certainly sounded like he was going to go, and now they are listing him as questionable. I'd be surprised if he didn't play.
Okay. Boom.
Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, senior golf, NBA, and NFL insider at ESPN, Adam Schefter. Thank you, buddy. The band man.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand looks awesome on top of a car down in Florida right now. Cigar in hand, coffee in hand.
Saw that.
Surfside.
Spiked coffee or iced tea.
Yeah, spiked iced tea.
Elbow beer.
He ain't leaving.
What?
He ain't going.
I saw a video of Sam Bennett just taking in everything and speaking to the crowd. He ain't going anywhere either.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we get out of here, we head to ESPN2. The College World Series continues on the other side of this break. Ty, who's playing and what do we need to know?
We got Louisville and Coastal Carolina next. Coastal Carolina is undefeated. If they win, they will move on to the championship series. If Louisville wins, then there'll be like a little bit of a mix-up. Basically, right now we have two teams who have not lost, two teams that have one loss. If you lose two games, you're eliminated. So we're just trying to get to the championship series here, which will be a best 2 out of 3. Should be a great game.
The game starts at 2 o'clock.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Well, okay. Hey, so we got an hour here to kind of, chew through some of the stats and everything.
Nice.
But, yeah.
Good team.
Deeper dive.
Yeah.
We'll do a deeper dive on the other side.
That's right.
Like 1 hour from right now.
Okay, perfect.
Be a friend, tell a friend, something nice about change your life. Bill Zito, general manager of the Florida Panthers, joins us from the celebration. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
All roads leading to Eugene, and I can't help but say, hey, hey, you make me wanna jump, put my hands up and pick my heels up and all again now. A little bit something now, 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 a little bit louder 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 now, a little bit louder. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great day in Oregon. You know, we go to Cannon. OH. We are. Thank you. I love this. Let me go ahead and cock that thing. Boom on. Boom on. Ah, boom. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Roughnecks. We got engineers, we got doctors, we got economists. We got real tests that have real implications happening. And all of these sons of said, give me college game day. Instead of studying, I had some questions about coming out here to Berkeley, but after experiencing it, it is very evident that this is one of the best cities in this here United States of America. USA, 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 USA. And this represents everything that is great with this country, with our sport. It doesn't matter which way you view the world. It doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. College football runs through our soul. And that is what a celebration today is all about. I am thankful to be here amongst these nerds and future geniuses and future people that are going to run this place. It's an honor to be in Berkeley. It's foggy. I think there's some skunks.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this back-to-back Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program begins now. Sports are happening all around us. We have a Stanley Cup champion for the 2025 NHL season, and that is once again the Florida Panther.
Hell yeah.
Big win last night as Darius J. Butler, 9-year NFL vet, South Florida native, and Florida Panther diehard fan, celebrates here in Indianapolis as all of South Florida has turned once again into Hockey Beach.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Lordo has been bouncing around down there near Fort Lauderdale and Sunrise, Florida, from the elbow room to houses, I assume to a golf course later this afternoon as the Florida Panther boys enjoy the hell out of being crowned the best team in hockey for yet another season. In the middle of a dynasty, congratulations to you, Darius Butler, having a hell of a run.
Thank you. Congratulations to the lad. Giving us a team to be proud to root for. And
yeah, is that going to happen in any other sports?
I mean, Dolphins are on the clock, but the Heat and the Heatles, they had their run when they went to 4 straight finals. Now we got 3 straight finals with the either Marlins. Marlins won a couple of those things. So Dolphins been, I think, 26 years now since we've had a playoff run. So it's great time to have one here.
You guys might be trying to trade for Kevin Durant, allegedly. That could maybe change some things down there. I don't know if that's going to be his final destination. I saw some people comment whenever we posted another Kevin Durant update that is there anything being talked about every day? We're talking about Kevin Durant. Nothing really, huh? Just kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's fluid, though.
Well, and
it is a fluid.
Shams did say, like, hey, this could happen in the next couple days, so that kind of creates the urgency of, like, hey, we got to be talking about this because Durant's about to get traded. Will and behold, it's been several days since he said that.
Well, and then now there's a report that Shams said that the Phoenix Suns are going to trade for whatever the best is for the team, even if it is not a part of Kevin Durant's desired destinations. I saw that as a lower third. I didn't hear the interview, though.
Really? Yeah, saw that as well. I think the biggest Shams tidbit that he has shared with us that he didn't even mean to was that the Spurs are going after a different superstar. Yeah, that
on their timeline as opposed to the Kevin Durant timeline.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if he meant to say that because he just kind of slipped that in, and then you kind of pushed him on it a little bit. Like,
yeah, because he said they're packaging pieces for maybe another star on their own timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think it means there's one team, the Boston Celtics, that have stars that are in the range of the Spurs stars. Like KD, I love KD. I want KD on the friggin' Celtics, okay? But he's 37, and all their players are in their early 20s. So if you were looking at the Boston Celtics, like a Jaylen Brown, who's still in his 20s, who's still in his prime, who would have not just 1 or 3 years.
He'd be great with Wemby.
He is the exact piece they need. They have a point guard with Fox. They have Wemby. They have Castle. If they were to add like a wing like Jaylen Brown, they would legitimately be perfect.
So you guys would get the number 2 overall pick too, or what would you guys do?
I mean, yeah, that would be the thing. The Celtics would get probably the 2nd overall pick. I'm sure, Brad Stevens has some sort of plan. And then, I mean, whether they stay at 2 or they like someone who was probably projected a little after those top 3 guys, maybe that's what they do. Maybe they try and trade that pick.
Most craziest offseason ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what Shams called this offseason. Mm-hmm. We shall see if it lives up to the hype. Joe Naro never did this. And I don't think any meteorologists or weather people here in Indianapolis would do this. Huh? But it does feel like every once in a while, seemingly every storm's the biggest storm of all time.
Correct.
It's coming!
Yeah.
Bunker down! Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they get the Doppler up. Oh, this one broke up here, actually. We're interrupting the show that you want to be watching right now to show this Doppler of this area that is nowhere near where you live, and you're being forced to watch it because you see we got these triangles here, and it could potentially hit you. And then, we're going to go back to your scheduled program, okay, because it wasn't that big of a deal. Every once in a while, a big storm will come, but normally it's a boy who cried wolf type situation.
Sure.
And that type of thing. For the NBA, it's like whenever, I don't know about the NBA, but in sports, whenever they say something big is about to happen, it's been a dud for us throughout our run.
Most of the time.
As this show, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of? So
sure.
whenever I hear Shams go most craziest ever, in the moment I get real excited. I'm like, oh, that's going to be great. And then once reality settles in, it's like we always kind of get sold that there's a dream. And I think it's because a lot of teams are very active. And then when push comes to shove to make an actual play, do you do it? That's why that Luka to the Lakers thing was so huge, because it's like, what? That type of conversation happens. It never really takes place. So maybe the NBA is wild. Maybe Kevin Durant moves. Maybe the Boston Celtics do a big-time trade. Maybe there's a lot of movement. Maybe there's none, which has happened in the past. There has been some movement on a massive free agent in the NFL. The Talks Tables here at Boss Connor and at Ty Schmidt. You're going to want to hear this.
Okay.
One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys AP Tone. You're definitely going to want to hear this piece of news. Live from an attic in Ohio, a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, AJ Hawk is here. AJ, and I know you know this, former captain of the Green Bay Packers, Jaire Alexander, has signed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow. That was quick.
Damn.
Lamar Jackson's words to Jaire Alexander's ears, and the Baltimore Ravens have signed Jaire Alexander to join that Baltimore Raven team that is yearning for a Super Bowl. From what Schefter told us, it's probably a one-year deal, looking to become a free agent after this year. Did that change in negotiations? Who knows? Jaire feels like a perfect fit with the Baltimore Ravens culture. And once again, the conversation is, can he stay healthy, right?
Yep.
That's the entire combo, D-Butch?
That's the only conversation when it comes to him. He's still in the prime of his career. Great ball skills, can play man-to-man, can play zone. Then you put him in the secondary with a guy like Kyle Hamilton, young superstar. Marlon Humphrey coming off one of his best years in the NFL. Nate Wiggins, young corner, they got out there with a lot of talent as well, man. Some great pass rushers up front. Chuck P back in the building. This is a great signing for the Baltimore Ravens. Love that Lamar came out, spoke publicly about his guy. I'm sure he already knew kind of the wheels were in motion. Him being in the building, getting it done. While Schefter could have told us. Schefter had to know he was in the building. Mm-hmm. But this is great news for Jaire and the Ravens.
Yeah, Eric DeCosta getting the deal done. Let's go to AJ Hawk, who said in the group text, he'd be a great fit. Why do you think that? Just because of personality, style of play? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above, D, but, there's not really Jaire can kind of do it all when it comes to how he covers, but I think just especially if he's on a 1-year kind of prove it deal, let's get to a big old contract, Jaire would fit in beautifully with that secondary because this dude has some moxie. We know what he's done. Like, we know the whole captain situation where he thought he was going to be captain. He was in his hometown, all of that stuff. But I think he'll fit in beautifully because I think when you get a change of scenery like this and all of a sudden he's going to be like reinvigorated, the question obviously, can he stay on the field? If this dude's on the field, he absolutely makes plays every single game.
And also, it's going to be very easy. Everybody knows who Jaire is in the NFL. Like, everybody knows exactly how he's going to be when he gets in there. But you have the franchise quarterback basically co-signing you immediately upon getting into the locker room. That makes transition very, very easy. Not that it wouldn't be for Jaire, but I'm just saying, you get dropped in there, it's going to be just like Marchand whenever he got put in the Florida Panthers team. It's a perfect fit all the way down, around there. And then you have to wonder, the Green Bay Packers just said enough. They were just moving on, Ty Schmidt?
Yeah, I think it was more so just like they wanted him to take a pretty big pay cut, and he was just like, no, you signed me to this deal. Like, I'm not when I'm healthy, I'm one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So I think it was always trending towards this. But for him too, like, this is by far the most talented secondary he's ever played in. For the longest time when he was in Green Bay, he was kind of the glue that was holding everything together, and it was, kind of just like a bunch of dudes and then Jaire. So for him to go out there and not have to be the one who's necessarily always shadowing the number one receiver, he can kind of just fit in. Like, I expect if he can stay healthy, I expect him to have a massive year for the Ravens.
God, the Ravens are loading up. What are the Steelers doing?
We brought in a 4-time NFL MVP.
Well, I mean,
the underachiever.
Yeah.
That conversation's awesome right now.
No, the Ravens, the second
4-time NFL MVP. Underachiever, dude.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get it. What's this guy done?
Well,
we're talking about the Eagles.
You know what that is? That's ring culture, and ring culture is bullshit.
Okay, all right. Well, that whole thing, I think it has to matter a little bit. I think there's such an interesting. Like underachieve, okay, I guess he didn't win enough rings. But then whenever you compare, I think this is definitely why TikTok, for sure.
Yep. It has to be.
It's a good game.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But good news, we just got back on at 109.
We
just got.
We got banned from TikTok for gambling.
For what?
New LRAP. So ESPN Bet obviously has been doing the LRAP here. We don't have commercials during the show, so it's a little bit different, I think, whenever it comes to linear marketing and sponsorships and kind of creation of the show and innovating the entire industry. So, the LRAPs, though, are certainly very real. Not that we created LRAPs, but you get it. And they made a new one, and they added this whole thing here. And TikTok was like, you just think.
Yeah, no.
They banned us.
Yeah,
You're banned.
It's a good deal. TikTok doesn't like good deals.
Yeah, you bet 10, you get $100 in bonus bets.
Wow, they do that anywhere?
Right away.
Where's the fine print?
No, yeah. Well, you always must be 21, obviously, and then down there. But you can get 100 on your promo code at ESPN Bet.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, obviously, the Pacers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And all eyes are on that to see if, the NHL ended last night. We'll talk to Bill Zito in about 5 minutes about his team going back-to-back. And then now we got a basketball title game happening tomorrow night. And that means the NBA season could be over as well. I have just come to the understanding that there is a chance that Oklahoma City could win.
Sure. That's possible.
Okay.
Lario will
I did not come
I don't like that treatment.
because of that.
No.
At all. It
But
was
if the Pacers win, possibly.
explosion.
Sure.
All around town. But this could be Oklahoma City dancing with their confetti on our court. And obviously, it's been a great year for the Pacers no matter how this ends up. But we need the Pacers to win, not only for the good of Indiana and the good of this program, but for the good of sports as a whole. What's your problem?
I mean, it's thinking about it now, about the entire situation that could unfold tomorrow. Could you imagine if OKC wins and they roll out that stage and then, maybe the owner, maybe SGA, maybe Mark Daggs says, in 49 states, it's just a trophy.
Oh, my God.
But in one state, it's ours. and they raise
They
this
need
thing.
to do that.
That's a good line. You should send that to them.
How do we TM dump that? How do we send that to OKC?
We don't need that. Okay, that is not what we're looking for.
It's a good line, though.
Yeah, it is a very good line.
that would hit hard, especially with the T-shirts.
Yeah, they bought This Is Indiana.
Yeah.
I have come to realize that this is a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't like that you come to that realization because now Pacers fans out here, they're watching you. They're going to say,
No.
You're the spokesperson for the Indiana Pacers.
No, I'm not. There's a lot of other people that are spokespeople for the
You're the runner that steers the ship, yeah.
I believe the Pacers are going to force Game 7 and win this entire thing in Oklahoma City. And they're going to do the whole thing right there in Oklahoma. I believe that's going to happen. But
I got a Game 7 hat for you if you really believe it.
2 of them right over there. Bottom.
Shout out Moose.
Shout out to Mark Moose here. Moose. Great hat.
Yeah.
Great.
Game 7, everybody knows what it's about.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful hat. With that being said, the game time decision thing with Tyrese, I didn't like that news. Okay, I did not like that news at all. But I like the depth of our team. Our team, anybody can go off on any night. And it feels like in the NBA, it would be very wild if – now I think Tyrese is going to play too. If he can walk, he can play. So if they're giving him an opportunity, he's going to play. Schefter said it feels like he's going to play. I don't know what Schefter knows, but Schefter said he feels like he's going to play, which is great news. If that's the case, there isn't even a sense of reality being Oklahoma winning. But if there is a chance he doesn't play, it's like we're going to need the people that have big games like every 3 games to like all have their big games like on one night.
Yeah.
And I think that can't happen. Tricky Ricky can have the boys ready.
Yeah, he can have the boys ready. I just fear that no matter how ready they are, Oklahoma City is just a better team this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's who's the better team tomorrow night.
That's right.
Amen.
Well said.
Okay, it's not about this year.
True.
We just need to look at one series at a time.
Exactly. One possession.
One possession at a time. One dribble at a time.
Yeah.
Boom.
One breath at a time.
Yeah. One step.
Every single sip of water matters tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Every pregame dance, every pregame handshake.
Yep.
The introduction, which they showed Oklahoma City's. I hope they show ours as well. And they should get Obi Toppin rocking that rim.
Yeah.
He takes off from the foul line, grabs that thing, and then he lands back on the foul line. Could be a halftime entertainment.
Could be. Well,
what he does.
Make sure they get red painted tomorrow, too. We can't have the fucking BMX guy back.
Bike guy?
I know we won that game. That guy cannot be out there tomorrow night.
What about the national anthem?
Oh, boy.
That guy can't ever do a national anthem again. The one we saw. They need Saxman.
They need Saxman.
They need Saxman.
Saxman. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who knows everything about winning championships. All his team does is win, especially the last 2 years. They become the 8th team franchise to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. Only 13 times in the modern era has it happened since 1967. It's obviously a compliment to the culture, the players, and the building. The man who pieced that together, or helped piece that together, is actually a Pittsburgh dude. His dad played for the Steelers. This man played at Yale, an absolute hockey mastermind. General manager of the Florida Panthers, the Stanley Cup champions yet again, Bill Zito.
How are you?
How you doing, Bill?
Actually, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. My dad played for the Duquesne Ironmen, who was the taxi squad.
Shout out.
I guess he played at Pitt and then graduated, and I don't think they didn't have a reserve squad. So whoever kind of lived in town played, and I think they were just there for practice.
So you think you were a football guy? You think you football guy growing up? Obviously, you have that.
Oh yeah, I have my Franco's Italian Army T-shirt, the whole thing.
Big legend,
as we all do.
Yeah.
Okay, we love that, Bill. Obviously, everybody in Pittsburgh, Joe. Of course, yeah. Penn's gone back to back a couple times. Pittsburgh guy down there in Florida taking it to South Beach, and that place has become an immaculate fan base. Let's talk about the culture down there. Whenever you get the gig, do you obviously dream about the Florida Panthers and the Panthers fan base and the experiences that you're having right now? And then for it happening, is it better than you could have expected at this stage of building a dynasty? At the beginning of building this dynasty, do you dream of these times? Are you nowhere near done? Like, where do you currently stand on how you feel about the job you guys have done down there?
So I'll answer the first part first. So when I took the job, we absolutely had a plan and a script for our destination franchise. It was part of my interview process, saying, listen, you've got everything. People should want to come here. People should just, independent of the hockey. And then let's make the hockey great to sort of match the weather, the environment, the travel, and everything else that comes with it. then once we started the hockey, I think it started with Patrick Hornquist. I know, another Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And he came in and he had that pedigree and he had the energy and the personality, very similar to Brad Marchand. And it's almost like it kind of went full circle. As far as the culture and moving forward, you know, I think almost by definition, because of the culture that we've been able to start, we don't feel that it's finished or that it's always evolving and always trying to be better, without trying to. I listened to you talk about the basketball. Every drink of water, everything to be as efficient as we can and professional and trying to be excellent, but without going overboard or wasting time and energy on silly things.
Okay, so let's talk about things that aren't silly in our eyes, especially because we've been on teams before. The boys going out to eat before every game, publicly on the road. You picking up the tabs allegedly for this entire thing. Them going to Dairy Queen the night before them talking about how together they are as a team. I mean, that's exactly what you're trying to build whenever you piece these players together, right, Bill?
And it's all sincere, it's all true, and it's all real. Even the coaches. So the night before every road game, coaches meet at 6:30 in the lobby, and Rob Tallis has the restaurant picked, and we all go. That group has figured out a way, both the coaches and the players, to enjoy each other and to try to have as much fun as they can. We asked them for an inordinate amount of work. The work, it's hard when they do it, and there's a lot of it. But when we're not working, it's, enjoy your life, have fun, enjoy each other. And we're blessed that we have guys who have bought in and who truly are, I think right now they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm not sure I like that, but no, they've earned it.
Yeah, I think they're just beginning to, if it's anything like last year, Boss Man. Just next couple of days, going to have to give a green flag there. The elbow room's getting a lot of the franchise's money right now. That is currently happening. Go ahead.
Putting mattresses in on the apartments upstairs.
Exactly. Lordo's got one, and the boys all have one. Diehard Florida Panther fan, D-Bud has a question for you, Bill.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Bill, first of all, for building this team, putting it together. I was telling the boys earlier, I remember the day, back in the days, a few decades ago, how the Panthers were viewed from the outside looking in and even being a Florida resident. So thank you for that, number one. But what are some of the things that goes into, I guess, identifying a Panther? Who's going to fit into that locker room? We all play sports up here. We know how difficult it is to bring in new guys, new energy, new contracts. So what goes into identifying a Panther? You talked about Marchand, obviously Jonesy, and even the other guys you brought into the building.
Yeah, I think when we started, you're looking and you say in the scouting meetings, we want someone with character and all this and what have you. And of course, that's part of it, right? And the scouts is part of their job. It's to try to figure out the character of the players who they've been assigned, to scout. But we've reached a point almost where the room can accept almost anybody. And they pull all the good qualities out of that person. And I think it's because it starts with Paul Maurice and the leadership in the room. Fail. It's okay to fail. So come in and be yourself, because you're going to screw up. We don't really care. We all screw up all the time. But we have a lot of good players around us who will help us when we do. I think that puts people at ease, and I think it's easy to fit in. With Seth, I knew him from Columbus. I know him as a person. He's as good a guy as there is. That was a no-brainer. That's easy. And Marshy is the same. He's almost like a planet. He has so much energy. It's unique, and he has that presence. He walks in the room, and it's on. It's just it's the Marshy show, but in a really good, positive way. And then the final piece of it is they're really kind to each other. Everybody, they're just decent fellas.
Decent boys down there, the Florida Panthers. Good men.
Great.
Is there a way to identify all those things? You said the room can take anybody. Is there a way to identify people that can't fit into there? Or do you legitimately think any person that is good enough hockey player will buy into the culture immediately upon getting to the Florida Panthers? And with that being said, I don't know if you know this, TSN up there in Canada, 3 of the top 5 free agents, all Florida Panthers. Good luck. Good luck, Bill. Good luck, Bill. Good luck, Bill.
There's going to be some poor soul who we're going to ask to move down here, maybe get a big house on Las Olas, have to take a golf cart to work in flip-flops, and he might have to play with Kachuk or Barkov or Forsling, and I know it's a tough ask. But,
just goalie.
Someone will want it. AJ will come out of retirement, put skates on.
AJ actually has a question for you.
Bill, you mentioned earlier, we were talking about the culture and everything, and you said, like Pat was saying, hey, every sip of water, every single moment, like intentional. We're all working for the same goal. Like you mentioned, you got to have that culture, but not go overboard with silliness, as you said. We've seen coaches and GM try to come in and like implement a culture and go over the top and almost be corny and cheesy with it. How do you find that balance in how you do, like what you do ask of your players?
So for me, trial and error. Right. And I look back, and I was probably that cheesy guy that was over the top trying to, are the shoelaces tied right? Is the print on the water bottles the right way? I don't know. I'm making that up. But I think what happened was as these pros, like pretty good at what they do. And so they know the details, and the coaches will specify, okay, here are the things we need to work on. And then the other things, I had been an agent for a number of years, so that helped me as well. Like, there's just things you don't need to worry about. We used to wear a suit and tie on the plane on the road. So you'd go to an FBO where you'd see no one, and with a suit and tie on, and then fly 3 hours, land at an FBO, and not see anyone. So we got rid of that. Little things like that maybe make life easier and let them focus on hockey. But at the same time, there is a time and place for suit and tie, and so that's when we wear it.
Yeah, once you establish the discipline and the attention to detail, if it's already there, then you can kind of evolve with the culture as it goes. I just, from somebody that, our show, I think, is big on like the locker room mattering. Like the locker room matter. I think we talk about that a lot. More so maybe than any other show in the history of sports media, sports television, because it matters more than anything. And with what you guys have, it's very evident that it is working, that it is a good one. And I think hockey people appreciate the culture that you guys have in representing hockey as the champs. Now, you mentioned a guy there who walks into a room and takes it over. Let's go to Boston Bruins fan, Boston Connor. Bill Zito, you stole hockey love out of his heart with one trade this year.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bill. Really ruined the entire hockey season for me, and I blame that solely on you. When you guys trade for Marchand, obviously, I believe it was right after he got hurt or during his injury. What's that like, kind of trading for a guy where right when he gets there, he's not going to, get on the team immediately. He's going to have to go through a little bit of a process there. And also, did you go to Dairy Queen at all? The DQ seemed to be sort of a good luck charm, and Brad said the boys did it before Game 6.
Yeah, well, when we acquired him, we knew what his injury was, and we knew sort of the time frame of recovery. And so that wasn't that big of a deal. We thought that he had enough time to play meaningful regular season games to prepare. And, I mean, he's Brad Marchand, so you know what his playoff pedigree is.
Amen.
That part wasn't really a big concern. I guess if he had arrived and had struggled, we would have been, oh, boy. But that worked out okay.
Yeah, I'd say.
I did not go with the boys to DQ, but they went. I think it started in Carolina, and then they remember Marshy had honey during a game, and someone asked him. And he said, "Oh yeah, that was a blizzard." And then it took off, and then I do think that they went in Edmonton. So. You know what? That's just a great example of something that you pointed out, Pat. They have a good time. They're having fun. Totally. Yeah, they like to eat ice cream. They're burning the calories.
They got good taste buds, though, too, Bill. They got Dairy Queen Blizzards.
Oh,
I'd put Dairy Queen Blizzards at the top of snacks.
Fast food dessert.
But they'll bring it back for everybody. That will tell you as much about the trip there is when you come. You know they were there because in the lounge there's DQ for everybody. When Barkov comes back from Finland, there's Finnish chocolate on everybody's desk and in everybody's stall. And I heard a great story about Barkov from last night. Apparently, he went home at like 5 a.m. to change and clean up before they kept going, and walked around his neighborhood and banged on everybody's front door. Hey,
you want to touch the
coffee with the cup? Yeah.
Oh, so, amazing. That is like the perfect team.
Awesome.
You have like the perfect team right now. Oh, the boys go get Dairy Queen Blizzards for everybody. You hear about this in like youth camps, like high school. This sounds like a high school type operation. Can you bottle it? With that being said, it is professional. You guys have won a lot, and you got some great players that other teams are going to want to try to pluck. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Bill, Pat mentioned it. You know, you obviously got 3 massive guys who are free agents right now who made, you know, a huge impact on your team. When it comes to those guys in particular, and then maybe just free agents as a whole, the hockey speaks for itself, obviously, winning back-to-back cups. How much, when you go into negotiations, are you hammering, like, hey, the no state income tax, the amenities? You talked about being able to drive a golf cart, you know, to the facility in flip-flops, the golf, all that kind of stuff. Like, how much of that is coming into the negotiations, whereas these guys probably already know what the hockey's going to be like? You guys are going to compete for a cup, you know, year after year.
Yeah, well, those guys know, right? Because they live here now. So that one, we're going to spend to the cap. And the Viola family ownership has empowered us to try to do everything we can to have the best team we can. So we're going to spend it all. It's just trying to keep everybody together and have a meaningful team. And if players sign up to come here, we want to be able to also have other good players. So hopefully they can appreciate that. Sometimes when someone's coming in from the outside, and we're trying to sell them on what we're trying to do, there's the hockey piece. But the environmental piece, I'll call it, right? The weather, the fun, the flip-flops, that's all part of it, because it's too hard to not be happy. When you're at the rink, we're asking an awful lot of you. It's an 82-game schedule. It's constant travel. It's away from your family. It's the grind. When you're not doing the work that you're doing at the rink, enjoy yourself, be happy. And that look, it kind of works here in our environment, but it's also a mindset of how we're trying to do things. So I think they work in tandem, and so far a few guys have bought in. The other piece of this is our coaches. Our coaches have managed, if you look at the people who have come to our team, whether via trade or via free agency, almost to a man, they've had their best career years with us. And that's the room, right? That's the players making other players better. That's the coaches making other players better and using them to their strengths. When Seth Jones came here, his job was just be Seth Jones. You don't have to be anything more. Just you be yourself, because you fit here with us. And to the extent that we can keep that going for most of the players that we bring in, I think it'll work.
Yeah, Marshy as a third liner, like that is him getting to take on people that he would have never faced with the Boston Bruins because where he is. And then obviously we're dangling folks.
Yeah,
not that he didn't do that before, but it's just like his confidence, everything just fitting in with you guys was beautiful to watch. We're big fans of Marshy. We are big fans of the way he operates. Like them in Boston.
Florida Panther legend.
Hard. He is a Florida Panther legend, isn't he?
Yep.
He's
Thank you,
Florida.
Absolutely.
And what he did for those kids on his line. So they're men, but I mean they're young players, and he made them better. He pulled them into the mix. He helped them. It was like having a tutor with you at work all day, every day when you're doing your tasks.
And a hilarious one. Also absolutely, exactly. Last question here from Pittsburgh native AP Tone.
Yeah, Bill, it looks like you're at the facility, so do you get no time off? When are you going to go see the boys again? And are you, for those free agents, are you allowed to take advantage of them today? They're pretty inebriated probably. Are you allowed to just throw a contract with them and sign it today?
Get them on microphones?
Yeah.
If I can, I will. I'm not sure they'll even be able to write. We might have to do fingerprint.
Early reports are no, they will not be able to write from what we've been seeing from Elbow Room. Don't want to out anybody.
I think we might all get together as a group tonight, so we'll see everyone again there. And I mean, these guys have really earned this. They're having a great time, and they're with the fans. It's a neat relationship. If you saw the parade last year, it was a dangerous thunderstorm, but nobody left. Everybody got drenched, and that galvanized kind of that relationship. So I know that it's important to them, just to go with a cup to the local watering holes and just kind of have a good time with the fans.
We talked about this in the last hour. There's people probably down there in South Florida. We don't want to judge a book by its cover from Pittsburgh, a hockey Dahn. South Florida, everybody judges immediately. Like, oh, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. But the people down in South Florida, I think last year, if they weren't hockey fans or maybe new hockey fans, they saw how awesome it was to be a Florida Panther fan. And then they follow you guys all year. I think it's only growing. I assume you feel that as well, right? The fan base?
Oh, yeah. It's growing. But the feeling from the players, it mirrors that. It's real. Like, they're like, these fans are awesome. We have so much fun. They feel totally comfortable. I don't know where they are right now, but I guarantee you they could walk into any place right now in Fort Lauderdale, walk in and have a great time with whoever's in there and laugh and sign autographs and take selfies and have a couple beers and enjoy themselves.
How many beers go in Lordo, Bill? Do you know?
Say it again.
How many beers are in the cup of Lordo, Stanley Cup? How many beers in the top?
I don't know.
It was 6.5 to 7.
7 beers. Maybe.
Okay.
Good luck.
Fair.
I think that's what you got to do, Bill. I think.
All at once, yeah.
Could you imagine,
like
Sam?
a boot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the boot. You got to turn it, too.
Spin.
Yeah, you got to spin
Get the bubble out of there.
Congratulations, man. I know you're not only doing amazing things with the Florida Panthers, but you're also doing amazing things in the community. Panthers on the Prowl is an initiative for the American Cancer Society that you and your wife back. Wonderful, amazing stuff happening down there with the Florida Panthers. You, obviously, a massive piece of it. It's beautiful to watch hockey kind of captivate an entire region and obviously make the world better. So thank you for what you're doing for sports and your community, Bill.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're just trying to this was a nice way to combine the hockey and the Panthers with the charitable element to try to raise money to fight cancer. And then to get people something sort of tangible that they can personalize and make it their own and then display them. And we're going to have a whole kind of an elaborate auction in the fall as well.
All right,
So it's a lot of fun.
I think I read that if I donate $5,000, I get to design a Panther statue that'll be placed around town that'll then be auctioned off.
You do. And in I'll accept that as a contract in the state of Florida. Thank you.
No problem. I'm not even boozed up like the boys are. You need to go get Sam Bennett to do this. Darius Butler also going to do one.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Bill.
The Butler family is going to do it as well.
All right, I got 2 down. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. I'm sure.
Thank you.
I'm sure there'll be more. It's Panthers on the Prowl and helping the American Cancer Society. AJ will also like one. Won't you, AJ?
Absolutely.
AJ Hall would like one.
You guys.
I'm in.
I think the elbow room needs to buy one too, don't you?
Yeah, maybe a couple.
Yeah, we'll put one up for the elbow room.
I volunteer to go down on that sales mission.
Okay.
I'll go.
I think right now would be a good time to do that. We appreciate it. Congratulations, back-to-back Stanley Cups, 8th franchise in the history of the league to be able to accomplish that feat, 13th time in total in the modern era. You're the man. We appreciate you, Bill.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thanks for the support on the cancer initiative.
Hey, no problem at all. Thank you for offering up the opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Zito.
Yeah, Bill.
AJ wasn't going to do it.
No, I had to throw his hat in the ring.
Wait, for $5K I get to make a statue that goes up somewhere?
Yeah, it's called Panthers on the Prowl. Go ahead.
No,
Can the statue be anything that I design?
No.
Like, it's my design, right? I'm an artist.
I'm an artist.
By the way, we saw on TV the other day, we saw one of your favorite artists.
Yeah, Picasso was on True TV.
I heard he's going mainstream. Be careful. Be careful what you watch with that guy.
He's still alive?
Yeah, Picasso.
A little different version. A little different version, but
are they related?
Same type of painting.
He uses all his tools. He uses every tool he was born with to make paintings.
That's cool.
It was on True TV. We have one of the TVs set up for True TV because there was a sport happening. Yeah. And then we turn on all the TVs in the morning, and then there's this guy, cheeks out, blurry lower left corner, painting.
Cheeks out.
He
It doesn't feel like a mainstream thing.
It was on True TV, and Danny Bonaducci was there.
He was.
Saw him on True TV.
Legend.
Danny Bonaducci was back this morning as well on True TV.
It's interesting. True TV's diverse portfolio.
Yeah, it varies.
They got Coffin Flop all the way to like NHL
Final Four. Seriously.
Coffin Flop.
Dude, still trying to save it, man. Corncob TV.
That's what True TV kind of is.
Yeah.
And then they got contracts through the Turner deal where they got like real. So we put on the sport, and then the overnight. You know, for a long time for linear television, a lot of the ratings is overnight for games. So people have their TVs on at night as we're Lord Stanley Cup's beating the hell out of a microphone. Little boozed up. Little boozed up.
He's thinking about
better run away. Better run away last night.
But the overnight, keeping the TV on, falling asleep, wake up, those linear numbers have been something that have been a big deal. Like overnight into the morning, kind of just carryover. For us, this True TV carryover has been pretty electrifying. You have no idea what's coming on that lower left screen in there. NBA Finals resume tomorrow night, Game 6 in Indianapolis, Indiana. All eyes are on whether or not Tyrese Halliburton will be playing. It'll be a game-time decision. Coach Rick Carlisle on local radio here in Indianapolis said they are obviously preparing for him to play and for him not to play. That's why he is a game-time decision.
Sure.
So that got taken. Did you see that got taken? There's a couple people that just said he's preparing for Tyrese Halliburton to not play, and then the other half of the quote was, but also, it's a game-time decision. We have to have two different plans here. And I assume Oklahoma City, guess what they have? They're probably having two different plans as well.
For sure. Yeah.
If Tyrese is playing, if he's banged up, if he's not playing, depending upon what it is. This Oklahoma City team is unbelievable, and they've certainly showed their teeth here lately.
Yes, they have.
Like Oakmont on Sunday.
Very similar.
Very
similar.
I believe Dan Orlovsky will be joining us here in a matter of moments. He and the 23 others that he golfed with yesterday raised $400,000 for ALS.
Nice. Wow, that's awesome.
When he did 100 holes of golf. It was raining all day. He said it's been nothing but rain in Connecticut this summer. I guess Connecticut's just getting rained on. I assume it's very green out there. The rain can obviously affect things. He was wearing 2 gloves.
Yeah.
Might have saved him.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
For sure.
Might have saved him from this entire thing.
He played 100 holes?
Yeah, how long did
100 holes.
In one day.
Speed golf.
Your hands would be gone.
He said he felt okay. He said... we'll ask him whenever he joins us. We got a little bit more information on Jaire Alexander's deal. $4 million deal, up to $6 million in total, with $2 million obviously in incentives there.
Wow.
Who knows what the incentives are? Are those team-based? Is it personal-based? I assume we'll learn at some point. But if that's like playoff bonus and then Super Bowl bonus for the $2 million, or if it's Pro Bowl, All-Pro, different stuff, we shall see. Go ahead, Tone.
From Garofalo, Alexander can earn $500K for each of the following playing time thresholds: 35%, 40%, 45%, and 50% of the playing time.
Those are each 55.
Yes.
So if he's healthy, all right,
Wow.
that's exactly what the deal is.
Great deal.
Brilliant incentives, too, for both sides. And Jaire, an approve it deal, 1 year, you make more money if you play, and also you get a bigger deal if you play.
Yeah.
Feels motivated?
What a great idea. It makes sense for everybody. You get Jaire Alexander, a franchise-type corner on a great deal that he is going to be highly, highly motivated, not only to chase a ring, but also he knows what it can do for him as an individual player, too, like if he has a great year.
Yeah, maybe Baltimore ends up having to pay him a shit ton of money after this year. There's a chance. I mean, that defense can be legendary.
Steal.
Joining us now, steal. $6 million in total is a steal for Jaire Alexander. If he can remain healthy.
Correct. But top corners were getting 20 even.
Yeah, at least 15, 13, 12, 10, something along
10,
those.
yeah.
Something in that where I assume $10 million.
Yes.
Is what in my head. Jaire Alexander, $10 million, especially if it's going to be a prove-it deal. Instead, it's a $4 million with $6 million. Congrats to the Baltimore Ravens, and congrats to Jaire getting a deal. Seemingly, he was able to get more elsewhere, I think is what Schefter was saying. But he's picking the Baltimore Ravens.
Talk about him going to a winner.
Yeah, exactly. Baltimore Ravens have a chance to go do it all. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who golfed 100 holes yesterday and helped raise $400,000 for ALS research. He is the guru for the NFL on ESPN whenever the football season takes place. In the offseason, he's just dad. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky. Dad season. Boom. That's what he's in right now. Did not know you were wearing that. Works out perfectly. Dano, thank you for doing what you did yesterday. You're a good man.
Maybe Dano.
Oh man, I'm the smallest part of the big puzzle. It's I think the people, if I get it right, the people who, 2 guys who coordinated the most, I think, are Corey Sullivan and Alex Litt, who I think both lost parents, I want to say, to ALS. And those guys, I mean, Pat, you know what it's like to put on events. Like, they hustle and grind for sponsorships and people and, kind of airtime, I guess, or awareness, and they've done a remarkable job. I think in 3 years, they started 3 years ago, they've raised over $1 million. So they've done an awesome job.
Unbelievable work by them, and shout out to you for putting it onto our radar. We saw you were wearing 2 gloves because it was rainy. Do you think that helped with the fingies? Do you think you didn't get as many blisters because the fingies? And how does the body feel after golfing 100 holes?
I feel totally normal. It doesn't feel like I played 100 holes yesterday at all. So I don't have any muscle though. I think people who had like AJ, like if he had to swing and turn that much, but I don't look at me. I don't have any muscles, so I feel normal. The 2 gloves, they're rain gloves. So the 2 gloves, like it wasn't just me rocking 2 gloves. They're rain gloves.
Yeah.
So
how often you golf
my
with
hands
2
feel
gloves?
fine.
You a 2-glove golfer? You get those weird sun tan lines?
Oh, yeah.
On both hands?
I do.
Looks like you got the white
Yeah.
gloves on like you're a mortician.
Yeah, I got a good tan there from my Apple Watch. So, yeah, this is a good ball right here. I absolutely tattooed this drive.
You remember every shot or just this particular post? Oh, what a swing!
No, I don't.
What a swing!
63rd hole.
Very Ernie Els like.
Okay.
Well,
slow down.
I hit it well yesterday. Yes, yesterday I hit it well. I missed some big putts at the end though. Chuck and I finished in I think like a bunch of different groupings of how they do gross and net. We finished I think in 3rd in one of them, and I missed 3 birdie putts in the last 4 holes. So.
Oh, okay. Are you guys playing as like a scramble, or is everybody playing their own ball?
So the first 72 holes. Yeah, maybe first 54 holes, everyone plays their own ball. Like, and it's a 2-man team. Chuck and I, everyone plays their own ball. Each 2-man team's got to get a score, right? And then it's, they added up score. And then I believe the next 36 holes were a shamble, which is everybody hits the drive. You choose the drive that you like the best out of your 2-man team, and then you play your own ball from there. And then the final 9 holes were a scramble, which is everyone's hitting the shot, and then you choose the best shot going into the green. And then the final hole, everyone played together. 18th hole, everyone played together.
Love that. When did you start? When did you finish in the day?
First ball went in the air at 5 a.m. So we used like glow in the dark balls for the first, I want to say, 2 holes. And then we like sprinted to get done at 8:35. We probably finished putting 8:35, 8:40.
Okay, hey, great work.
Wow, long day.
Great work.
Hell yeah.
Have you been able to keep up with all the news around the NFL? I know you have your own contract negotiations going on.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We heard it was good news, didn't we?
Good luck,
Great
Dan.
news.
We heard it was good news.
He's out of here?
No, we don't know. We don't know.
Jeez,
No,
dude.
it's not, that's not great. That would not be great news.
You never know. Eye of the beholder, as they say.
And from what we were reading on the internet and some of the reports, it sounds like things are slowing down in that particular world. I don't know if you're back to focusing on ball now, or what do we got and being dad? Where's Dan Orlovsky at right now in life cycle?
By the way, there's so many people that now that I'm around that say the word Dan or Dahn the way you do with your Pittsburgh accent.
Thank you. It's a better way to say Dahn to be.
Yeah, I agree. I probably do it too much now.
Yesterday though can be left.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, that can go Dahn to pipe a little bit.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Dahn.
Yeah.
I would say that report feels accurate. It's close. It's not done.
Close.
Welcome back.
Happy for you, Dan.
I haven't signed anything. I haven't. Nothing. I guess is in concrete till it's on paper and signed. But it feels to be in a good place. Yes.
We're proud of you. We're happy for you. You've earned it, buddy.
Go, Dano.
You've earned it, Dano. You've earned it.
Thank you.
You have earned it with great football takes. Some of them great in their own ways.
Sure.
Driving a lot of chatter.
Yep.
That chatter might have been negative towards Dan, but it's still chatter. Other takes, wow, I didn't think about that. Thank God Dan watched all the film, so we didn't have to. We're appreciative of everything you've done, and we're proud of you. We're happy for you as well on that front. Let's talk a little bit about football. Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whenever you were given one of your last takes before this entire contract negotiation thing became a thing, you said the Pittsburgh Steelers have the worst quarterback situation in the history of football.
Wow.
You could see them lose in the first 6 games because
history.
all the other quarterback rooms are better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. You put the Jets in there. Jets obviously just signed Justin Fields to $20 million a year quarterback. You put the Vikings in there. The Vikings obviously have J.J. McCarthy. We assume they'll be okay. I think you put the Cleveland Browns in there. They have literally the worst if you were to accurately describe the situation with their quarterback room with Deshaun Watson's deal, maybe the worst quarterback room in the history of football, just from a contractual setup, if you will. You said they were better than, all those teams were better than the Steelers with where they were with Mason Rudolph. Now, Aaron Rodgers on that team. Arthur Smith had been building an offense for Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, the boys are buzzing over there. What are your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron, and how does he fit in with that particular offense in your eyes?
Yeah. Ever since Aaron signed there, my thought is that they're in the worst place they can be in as a football team and as an organization for the future. So the reason I say it is this. Anyone who tells you that Aaron can't play at a high level anymore just doesn't like Aaron, the person, or some of the things that he said. Aaron can still play. So he's good enough with where their roster, and I think their roster is a solid roster, to probably win you 10 games, which is going to flirt with being in the playoffs or, having a playoff game. They're not good enough to go beat the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos. They're not. So to matter in the playoffs, if they peak out, they're not good enough. They're also not bad enough to get a top 5, top 7, top 10 draft pick because of, again, the head coach, the talent around the roster, and Aaron. So it's like we continue to kick the can down the road, so to speak. So Aaron's an absolute upgrade. I still think the offense has some big question marks. This offensive line was an issue last year. Unless they get markedly better in their pass protection, that'll create some problems. DK is a superstar. They don't really have somebody opposite DK that's viable to hurt defenses. And nowadays in the NFL, like Freiermuth's a really good tight end, but I'm talking a perimeter guy. I don't have anybody that's really going to fear or scare defenses. So
Lazard's available.
Yeah.
Lazard.
A good player.
Yeah, potentially. There's a lot of guys out there still. And also...
Yeah, but but look at it from this perspective. Like, just with the way football's played in the NFL nowadays, it's very different offense-wise than it was 5 years ago. The game is... And Deba and AJ would know this, really from the X's and O's point. Football is so different than it was 5 or 6 years ago. 5, 6 years ago in the NFL was so spread out. We were trying to stretch sideline to sideline. Nowadays in the NFL, and Mina and I were talking about this the other day, because of, I think, the infusion of the Shanahan tree and so many formations being shrunk down, people are playing a little bit more compact on offense, so they're trying to play a little bit more physical football, and they're also trying to shrink you down on a defense and then take advantage of some of the space on the perimeter rather than the space in the middle of the field. So Buffalo's got like 7 guys that are really good options. Baltimore's got like 7 guys that are really good options, plus a dominant run game. Kansas City, multiple options that are legit top 2 guys. The Denver Broncos have added offensive talent. The Cincinnati Bengals, we know. So it's like, as far as Pittsburgh goes, you got 2 guys in the pass game that you really have to focus on. And then everyone else is like, okay, we're going to make you beat us.
Seems like you don't want to say the Steelers are going to be good. And I want to let you know, people in Pittsburgh have heard that. As soon as you started talking, Tone over there started getting his little evil eye. And when you said the Denver Broncos the first time, he said, did he just say the Denver Broncos? And then whenever you reiterated the Denver Broncos again.
The Broncos are going to be better than the Steelers.
Tone, would you like to say anything to Dan Orlovsky about his take about your Pittsburgh Steelers? This could become second take.
Yeah. From now until week 6, just if Dan's on, pretend I'm not here.
What do you mean?
I don't want to talk to this guy. I don't want to look at this guy.
Respect.
I don't want to deal with him.
All right, well, let's move on then, I guess. There's real heat between Pittsburgh and Dan Orlovsky. Dan, you asked for that, though. You asked for the city of Pittsburgh to act the way that they're acting towards you.
True.
You did. You decided
I've got a full folder of Dan.
So like I said last year during the season when I said the offense wasn't going to be good enough and everyone told me I was a complete idiot, and then we get to, the end of the season and the offense wasn't good enough.
Heavy as the head, says Dan Orlovsky.
Actually,
dunk on him, Dan.
Actually, if you watched any ball, it was the run defense.
You don't know ball, says Pittsburgh. With that being said, excited to watch this team. Got hopes up. Got my hopes up. They got to sign TJ Watt. Why isn't that done? Who knows? All right, let's move along, shall we? Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Dan, I was just joking around. It's great to see you. The stuff you did yesterday was really cool. I'm not going to ask about the Patriots because I know how you feel about them. 11, 12 wins probably this year. Mike Vrabel, Josh
Not
McDaniels, Drake May. They're going to be fantastic. But quarterback questions in Atlanta. What do you think the Falcons are going to do or should do with Kirk Cousins? It feels like not everyone's going to take that contract, but that many teams could use him as their QB1. What do you think happens down there?
Yeah, I think that's the nicest 30 seconds you and I have ever had. So I'm going to say thank you to you in that regard. It's a good step in our relationship. So
by far,
I think Atlanta is interesting two regards. So when we did their Monday night game during the season last year, sitting down with Raheem Morris, who's their head coach, like he was so adamant in regards to the drafting of Penix after they gave Kirk all that money. He was like, I know what it's like in this league to not have a good starting quarterback. I'll never experience that. I won't be the head coach of a team that doesn't have that plan in place. And so while Penix is the future, there's no question. I really don't think that Atlanta is just going to move off Kirk because, it makes sense in other people's eyes or, they're paying him all that money to be the backup. They were going to pay him that money to be the starter and get to the playoffs this year anyway. So whether they're paying him that money to be the starter and Penix takes him to the playoffs, or they're paying him that money and at some point they have to turn to him and he can regain some of his past success and form and get to the playoffs. That's all that. I don't think this organization is going to move off of Kirk just because they're paying him a ton of money to be the backup. And I do think Atlanta is really, really, really interesting because there's a lot of strong belief in Penix. They loved him last year. What happens if Penix comes out and is just an absolute dog? Like, what happens if their offense is loaded? They got really good perimeter players. Their offensive line be top 10 in the NFL. Penix could be, and then all of a sudden, like Atlanta becomes a really, really big player in the NFC. So I think there's really high expectations at the quarterback spot for Michael Penix in Atlanta. And I honestly think he's capable of being a problem in that division.
So he might be the answer to this question from D-Bud, actually.
Yeah, you talking about very highly of Penix. Obviously, Connor brought up Drake May. You got Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, all these guys. Which one of these guys out of that bunch do you think makes the biggest jump this year, this season?
If I had to bet on one, it would be Bryce. I would tell you Bryce Young. I think what he went through last year and not breaking, and then having some of the success he had at the end of the season, and then the addition of Ted McMillan. One of the things that probably doesn't get talked about enough in regards to the whole situation in Carolina is Canales is a really good coach. And we've got 3 different places where he's gone and been their coach and he's had success. So I believe in their head coach. I believe in the young quarterback. This is also an offensive line that's going to be really physical and really good. And so I think Bryce Young just rebounding the way he did last year. I love the Ted McMillan addition. Like D-Butt, think about their perimeter players. You're talking 6'4" and 6'4". Mm-hmm. So they're just physically a problem. And I go back to, when the Titans probably under Arthur Smith 7 years ago had A.J. Brown and gosh, who was the other big-bodied receiver that they had?
Western Michigan.
But they just had
overall.
Corey Davis.
Yeah, big-bodied guys that just physically present problems. And so, Bryce was the number 1 pick, not because he wasn't talented. He just went through some tough times his rookie year. And so I do think highly of a lot of the young kids, but I think Bryce is on the board to take a really big jump.
Let's talk about another young kid in the league. He's an adult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Grown-ass man. As we lead into a College World Series game here on ESPN. Who's going to be playing, Ty, and why should we be watching?
We got Louisville and Coastal Carolina. First pitch at 2 p.m. If Coastal Carolina wins this game, they are going to move on to the championship series. Louisville has to beat them, and then they're looking at, winning another game. So right now we got 4 teams left, 2 teams with 1 loss, 2 teams who have not lost yet. If both those teams who have not lost yet win, we have our championship series set, and you should watch it because all these games have had many fireworks, probably going down to the late innings. Louisville yesterday won with a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth.
Boom.
So, Coastal Carolina's won 25 in a row. Something's got to give today. We'll see. We got a spot in the championship series on the line.
Louisville was up 6-3 going into the ninth inning. Oregon State tied it up, then Louisville gets the win. That'll continue here. We'll continue digitally. Goodbye. I think we did it.
That was right on the mark.
I think that was very
Great
professional.
work. That was
really good, Todd.
Great work by you guys.
Really good, Todd. That was really good out of us. I'm so proud of us for pulling that off.
What a lead into that game too.
Yeah, highlights, walk-off. See, you said walk-off, and I think a lot of people who maybe didn't know the outcome thought walk-off bomb.
Sure.
Especially as sacrifice. That's college baseball.
Walk-off sack fly, baby. Can of corn.
And they celebrated with the guy who hit the sack fly, not the guy who was injured at home plate for sliding into home plate.
Correct, which is what you do.
Yeah, also
why would you throw a 2-1 hook?
What's that, Dano?
Why? I was thinking the same thing.
Why would you, with bases loaded, tie game, count 2-1, throw a hook?
It's his best pitch, Dan.
I mean, he missed it. He was,
Is
he was trying to throw, he's trying to get the bottom half of the plate there and induce a double play.
Induce a ground ball? I don't know.
This
I don't
is
know.
why it's hard to like
He's
you,
not
man.
a flamethrower, man. He
the
throws
fucking
junk.
If you're not a flamethrower, you got to hit your spot, Gump.
What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? You know his fucking bag of pitches, Dan?
Yeah, the gourd on you.
You don't know
Apparently, you guys all do.
Well, we know that what you know is nowhere near what his coach or catcher fucking knows. Who's calling the pitches.
Questioning
I agree with
pitches.
Dan. He gotta go slider
You think he has
Which
a
would
slider?
still be a bit hooky.
there. Get it on the ground. Maybe a two-seam.
Is he a two-pitch guy? Is he just a fastball, curveball
He's
guy?
the Barry Zito of college baseball. Yeah,
He's got them all, dude. He's got them all.
GM of the
He's in the
Panthers.
College World Series. How are you as a pitcher? Pretty good?
I was that story Little League baseball player. Like I was a ridiculous 12-year-old baseball player.
You were taller and bigger than everybody?
I would strike out everybody. I hit a home run every at-bat type of thing. And then I turned 13 and I stunk.
Man, those are good old days, though, when you were that kid.
Oh
my God.
Showing up to school in 6th grade, all the girls.
6 home runs last night.
Oh, my God.
No big
man.
deal.
Yeah.
Then you get to junior high. Oh, no.
This became batting practice.
What, you couldn't throw the curveball?
Dude, I don't know what it was. I threw hard as a 12-year-old, and then I threw pus as a 13-year-old. I didn't throw a good curve. I just wasn't good anymore. And I was like a ridiculous hitter at 12, and then I just wasn't good anymore. I don't have any fast twitch muscle, though.
So how'd you play quarterback? Weren't you a pretty good quarterback? Don't you have a pretty good arm? You talk about having no muscle and everything like that. Don't you have to have a pretty good arm to play quarterback? Didn't you do good at Connecticut, too?
Yeah,
QB
cover
challenge.
Sports Illustrated.
Like a 95 video game.
Yeah. I could throw, but it wasn't like I threw gas. Like,
oh, you were a touch passer. You were
a little noodle arm.
I was a precision guy.
Precision guy. That's why you almost won us out of the Andrew Luck sweepstakes.
That's right.
His precision was so good.
Mm-hmm.
What a run. What a run.
It was. It was a good run. Classic Ursay story there. So, what are we doing here? Are we winning? Are we winning?
I can imagine.
What's going on?
What the hell?
We've 3/4 of this season, we've been fucking ass.
Terrible.
What are we doing?
Can't win a game.
Dan,
why are we trying to win a game now?
Dan, I think if you would have played quarterback all year, I think Dan maybe career Indianapolis Colt quarterback.
Yeah.
Ring of honor.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Probably.
Now, you'd still be playing, I think.
Probably.
You'd still be our quarterback. Dan, you came in and
that was some good times, man. Those are some fun games. I'll never forget like that Houston game on Thursday night because Houston cut me, like fired me. Like told Rick Smith was the general manager, and like that training camp, it was the 3rd year of a 3-year deal. They gave me a 3-year deal to go back up shop. I got overpaid. There's no doubt about it, for how good I was. After the 1st year, come to me 2nd year, have to take a pay cut. And I'm like, what the fudge, dude? I don't want to take a pay cut.
Fudge, man. This
like,
guy threw 10 pick sixes. What?
Yeah. I want to take a pay cut. Got to take a pay cut. Or like, you're gone. I'm like, gosh. 3rd year, you're gone. So they fire me. You're not good enough anymore. I think I got replaced by like Rex Grossman and Matt Leinart.
Dogs.
And so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, understandable.
Fired in camp. I think I went to camp with you guys that year. Fired in camp, I think. I got cut like the last week of camp. And so we played Houston on Thursday night. TJ Yates, who's A coach in Atlanta now was the starter. They had drafted him. That's when they went to the playoffs. But I think they were like the 2 seed in the playoffs that year. I wanted to beat them so bad. Reggie caught a game winner.
Yeah, were you captain that game? I assume you were.
I don't know if I was or not. I don't know if I was.
Should have went out there.
Yeah. Too locked in. Listen to music.
It was awesome watching old Dano. He had a great run. I thought you were going to be a guy. I thought you were going to get paid a lot of money, and nobody viewed it.
I'll never forget that sideline story. Remember the sideline story when we beat Houston, and you're like, you are going to get so rich. Like, you're going to be so rich because of this game.
Good teammate.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. There's no doubt. I'm going to get so much money this offseason. That didn't happen at all, like remotely close.
Yeah, but just know that message was coming no matter what. Yep. That message was coming no matter, from me at least.
Did I ever share you the story with Clyde Christensen and going into week 17 at that point? So we had won 2 in a row. We win week 17, we'll get like the 2 pick or something, the 3 pick. We get the 3 wins. We're playing at Jacksonville. We win on that Thursday night to get the second win of the season. So the second to last game, we win Thursday night. Coach Caldwell gave us that weekend off, if you remember. You guys got to be back, I think, on Wednesday or something, or Tuesday, whatever. My wife was pregnant with triplets. And so I went home for the weekend. She had a routine doctor's appointment on Tuesday. I think we had to get back for Wednesday practice. Routine doctor's appointment Tuesday. She's like, a doctor's like, hey, let's just get the babies, like get the kids out Tuesday or something like that today. Like just because my kids were born the 28th, so you're getting near the first of the year. I think hospitals maybe are a little bit less staffed around that time because of holiday and whatnot. Let's get them out. So I'm like, all right. So my kids were born on Tuesday. I flew back Tuesday night, sleep at the facility. Wednesday morning, I'm trying to catch up, get ready for the game, because, again, you're trying to prove yourself, all that. I'm dizzy as all get out during the week. Friday, I'm meeting with Clyde, who is our offensive coordinator. Clyde Christensen is the greatest human being on the history of the planet. Clyde, like the nicest person, great coach. And we're meeting for the game plan Friday afternoon, and we're going over things like, don't like, plays. Hey, Clyde, call this play, don't call this play, all that. We get to third down. The first 3rd and 3 call was like a sprint out, pick, throw the flat route. And I go, Clyde, call this to the right. Do not call this to the left. I cannot go left.
I can't flip my hips, Clyde.
I'm not athletic enough. Can't go left.
Tough throw.
Gotcha. First 3rd down of the game. We're backed up on like the 6-yard line. It's 3rd and 2. And I'm like, fudge, Clyde, do not call that play. Blah, 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 blah. Sprint left. I'm like, motherfucker, dude. Call sprint left. I sail the flat route, kick, return to like the 5-yard line. We end up losing that game.
I had a shank in that punt in that game as well. I had a shank. I think the guy took it to the house. I was not throwing.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. They did return a punt for a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, I hit a shank last game of the year, too. Average is what it is, just trying to get through this whole thing. Yeah, I'd already been potential quarterback, I think, at this point. A couple different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Houston?
No, Jacksonville.
This is at Jacksonville. Last play before the half, we call Hail Mary. I rip all the ligaments in my ankle. I show up to the hospital after the game and like crutches. My wife's bent over from a C-section.
I was trying to hit the ball far when I shanked it, just for the good of everything. Hindsight, pretty pumped that we
Yeah. Bet Jim was too.
Jim Mercer. Yes! Yes! What an interesting situation. Dan, you were a great teammate, and you're great on TV. I'm happy they got that deal done with you. Well, not yet, but I'm happy that you will continue to join us every hour of every day of our life for football season, right, Tom?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Weren't we talking about that? Isn't that kind of our thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we need Dano on TV every day of football season.
It's unsettling when he's not.
And then there was a fear that maybe he wasn't.
Exactly.
We couldn't live with that.
No, I don't want to see this guy on CBS Sports HQ.
No.
Nobody will.
No one's going to see him there.
Nobody
will. Or any of the other places that were potentially offering him.
Fox, Comedy Central.
Great people there.
Yeah, Comedy Central.
That's what he's hometown.
True TV.
We do want Dan's. We want, new contract, new you. We want your own takes, all right? Just you. We don't want you fighting off,
Evan
whatever.
Cohen.
Just you, Dan.
But steal up your breakfast ball.
You're good enough.
Thanks, Steve, but I'll do everything I can not to steal from Evan.
Well, everybody, not just Evan. Evan was the latest victim, I think.
He's got some good stuff, Evan.
He starts the day.
Yeah.
Starts
Canty
today.
too. Stop stealing from Canty while we're at it.
Dan watches it every morning.
Dan is on that show. And aren't you on that show sometimes?
Yeah.
I'm usually on it during the season on Mondays, I think.
So that's when you steal their shit?
It's a good day.
Take it for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Nah, don't steal. No stealing from me. No stealing.
That's good. That's one of the sins, I believe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You don't want to do that. Thou
I'll take you
shalt
straight
not
to hell.
steal from Evan Cohen and anybody else.
I still do.
You talk about young quarterbacks. Tone has a question.
Can't choose from the chosen people.
Huh?
You can't steal from the chosen people, man.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Can't steal from the chosen people.
Chosen people.
What's the question, man? What's the question?
What's the population?
Sorry.
I don't think I understood what that means. I like the way we're wording it, though.
Sorry about earlier, Dan. That was Pittsburgh tone. This is Hoosier tone. I had a question about JJ McCarthy.
This is Indiana tones.
Yeah, transplant. Are you still super high on JJ McCarthy? You think he's still going to be an All-Pro this year, and he's guaranteed to be successful?
I think he's going to be awesome this year. Honestly, I totally believe production-wise he'll play very similar to what Sam did last year. There's just a scheme and a roster talent in space that Minnesota is the easiest place in the NFL to play quarterback this year. It's the best, as good an offensive roster as that we have in the NFL. And then you combine it with play scheme and play caller and Kevin O'Connell. A lot of guys would go to Minnesota and play good football. I think JJ's the skills that he has and the foundation that he has he's a play on rhythm, listen to his feet when it comes to where and when to throw the football, the timing of the way he plays the position, the way that he was taught to play the position at Michigan is perfect for what is the necessary stuff at playing that position in Minnesota. There's positions in the league that ask their quarterback to do different stuff. Like maybe that's not mandated to play on at time as much as the Minnesota offense is. It's not mandated to be exceptional in turning your back to the defense, losing sight of the defense, and then snapping my head back and trying to find what or who I'm looking at. That's a skill set. And that's something that takes hundreds of reps of getting comfortable doing with. He's got that from his time in Michigan. So, when Kevin O'Connell can dial up these plays of these play action things, JJ doesn't have to think of, it's a 7-step drop to my left, so it's really going to be an 8 or 9-step drop. And when I do that, I've got to flip my hips. And when I try to, see rotation and find the back, he doesn't have, it's muscle memory for him. And so I think because of the offensive line and the people that they have, I think he's going to play really well.
All right, Dano, we appreciate you taking time out of your life to join us. What's next? We got lacrosse, we got sports all summer, baseball, golf. What's happening?
Yeah, a bunch of lacrosse. My sons have a tournament in Massachusetts. My sons had a tournament in Long Island this past weekend. We got they play for Eclipse, which is like mainly comprised of Darien, New Canaan, Westport kids. They won the World Series last year. The club team won the World Series last year. So.
Little League World Series?
The lacrosse World Series?
Yeah, so usually in 6th grade.
Yeah, it's new.
In your 12-year-old year, that's Little League Baseball, Williamsport. That's usually when it happens. In lacrosse, it's usually your 13-year-old year, so your 7th grade summer. And so their Eclipse team, so the kids who are like 2029 graduates, the World Series goes by age. They won the World Series last year, so the Eclipse team of 2030 has the chance to win the World Series this year. So yeah, a lot of that. My daughter's playing club lacrosse too, so she's got a tournament at Yale this weekend. A lot of lacrosse.
That team is probably nasty. Those towns in Connecticut are all very good.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good. They're so good. I would tell you this, though, in Boston, the kids in Long Island are freaking ridiculous, dude.
Oh, yeah, they're different. That's like all
they
the
call themselves the lacrosse people, right?
Yeah, Long Island is damn near, you could argue, the capital of, high school lacrosse just because of how many recruits from Chaminade and some of the schools, St. Anthony's, even some of the schools out there.
You're a PLL
It's ridiculous.
guy, right? You give a lot of love to PLL. What about the NLL? You watch the NLL ever?
I've seen clips of it. I the PLL, I think Rabel's been great to my family. I love their watching games live for the PLL. The coach that coaches at the high school here in our town, Westport, Staples High School, they won the state championship again this year. third time in 4 years. So like
lacrosse
and everyone's been yeah, it's the best public program in the state right now, no doubt. Staples High School is the best public, and they beat Darien in the state title. I mean, Darien and Duquesne are still great, but right now, Staples is the best public program in the state. Probably top 5 in the country.
And the Orlovskys are going to carry that for the next 10 years?
If they work hard enough, they have a chance.
I like that. Always coaching. Always getting better. And we get better every time you come on. We appreciate you, brother. Have a great one.
You're a good man, bud. Later, boys.
So are you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.
Baby Dano.
Congrats to Dano.
Yeah. Connecticut is like one of those towns, New Canaan, he mentioned. I'm pretty sure one of the best recruits for high school lacrosse played for New Canaan this year.
Bruce, a lot of lacrosse out there in Connecticut, eh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, on the women's side, Chloe Humphrey, freshman at UNC from Darien, won the Tuaraton and the national championship.
A freshman won the Tuaraton?
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah. Wow.
Playing with both of her sisters. They transferred in for 1 year, and all three of them played together.
All right, let's stay with that microphone. Do we think lacrosse gets bigger or soccer gets bigger post-Olympics?
Oh, come on.
Come on now.
Come on. In America?
We'll count World Cup and Olympics. We'll say
we're talking the USA.
So we're talking United States of America. Do we think the World Cup spurs growth in soccer fandom more than the Olympics spurring lacrosse fandom after the Olympics?
I'm going with lacrosse just because how big the Big Ten's getting into it. And I also saw a kid from an SEC club team got drafted to the PLL. So the SEC teams, I assume, might start playing a little bit more lacrosse, which would be nice. Yeah, I'm just saying, if soccer's had its chance.
No, I think Ty's agreeing with you. I think.
Yeah, I'm not a lax guy, but when we go 0-3, in the World Cup,
that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Thank you, Gumpy.
Lacrosse,
Gumpy's Canadian.
lacrosse is a great sport. Canada's sport will never catch soccer.
Yeah, but he said in America, though.
Yeah, it still won't. Soccer's massive in America. I know no one was at the South Korea South African game last night. I get that.
Those aren't
wasn't the only one.
Oh, come on.
But Gump, I'm saying
what about the U.S. national team?
Yeah, I'm saying our team is not going to perform well enough in the World Cup that it's going to
That was not practice, AJ. That was a game. There's $100 million on the line.
No way.
That is a game.
It's soccer, and it's not even close. That's like a PLL normal game, right? Where people showing up.
Okay, so then we have to talk about what does success look like, because it sounds like all of Orlovsky's kids play lacrosse. I think all of AJ's kids play lacrosse. I think there's a lot of people in Plum that are kids that are playing lacrosse. I don't know how much out here in Indianapolis, Indiana, how much it's really caught on, but it feels like a lot of kids are playing lacrosse. Would you say that as well, AJ, as you're in the middle of it right now?
Yeah, my son had an 8 a.m. game against a team from Missouri this morning that I was at. So yeah.
How'd we do?
Oh, we won. His team. He's got some studs on his team. Yeah, it's one of those travel teams. They got some dudes.
Some Ohio guys out there, huh? We playing a little physical brand of lacrosse or no?
Yeah, they got everything. Yeah, physicality,
These boys got
speed,
some
talent.
Really?
These guys are crazy.
Yeah.
These kids are nuts. For real. A couple of these kids are ridiculous.
He would never say it, but he showed me some clips. His boy's got some skill now.
Who's this?
If it's the same
Hendricks.
Yeah, Hendricks. Yeah.
Really, Hendricks, your oldest boy? He's a good lacrosse player.
Yeah, he can be. I mean, yeah, he can.
If he works hard, yeah. Okay, I like that.
Commit himself.
I like it. He's watching this potentially. You're seeing this clip, so he needs to know he has an opportunity. I think lacrosse does have a little bit of a boom going on.
Yeah, I think soccer's already big in the United States, but if we're talking about people in the United States, I get Leo Messi is Leo Messi. No one gave a shit about the MLS till Messi got here, really. And is that soccer being big, or is that Leo Messi being big? Lacrosse will never be as big as soccer because the professional league, I don't think their wages are the same or even close to the MLS.
Quite a head start.
Yeah, but as far as growth of the game goes, I think if Team USA were to compete for a gold medal, that's the thing about the U.S. soccer team.
Bingo.
They're not going to get to the semis or the quarters. The Team USA should make it all the way to the finals, at least the semis.
USA soccer team's going to beat her.
They have to be.
I'm going soccer, too.
They have to be there.
Easier
it's
to
in
play.
North America. They have to be there, right? They got to get in.
Yeah.
We can't be locked out, right?
We will physically be there. Yeah.
No, our team will physically be there and win.
Yeah, they have.
I hope so.
We will.
They will make it to the knockout round. There's no way they don't make it to the knockout round.
Did Qatar make it to the knockout round?
We didn't.
You're better than Qatar.
I don't think we made it to the tournament.
How many do you have to win for that? How many games you got to win to get to the knockout?
Two.
Right, 2.
You can even a win and a draw maybe get through. Depends on what happens in your group. It all depends on what the group looks like too.
Good high
who
standards
knows?
we got going.
Isn't it team?
Sorry for supporting America, AJ. I apologize.
Sorry for supporting.
I'm sorry for saying our standards need to be higher, maybe in America.
Well, you need to be sorry for not supporting this American team, and nobody supported them. They had a game the other night against Trinidad and Tobago. 2,000 people were in a 30,000-seat arena. I mean, that's not good.
Where at?
I believe San Diego.
Oh, so soccer state, damn near, you could argue. But I do think the World Cup is in our favor just because it's in our group, USA, and then Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago.
No.
If they made that stipulation and that's what we did for group play, I'd be all in.
Yeah.
That we get a chance to play Trinidad and Tobago every game?
3 times.
Yeah.
Maybe Guam. Throw Guam in there.
I'm pretty sure we had our hands full with Guam last time we played them. So
lacrosse is sport of the future actually now. It was for a long time.
It's not.
I
Let's
just
be
think-
honest.
I'm not buying it.
It's definitely not.
It's been sport of the future for 20 years.
I know, but now it feels like it isn't dipping
For
dots.
kids, because there is no, like you're right, the professional game is not what other professional games are, but I feel like at least in the Midwest, for sure, there's definitely more kids playing lacrosse now than ever.
And college lacrosse is getting bigger. The pros, who knows as far as that goes, but I think like as a college sport, it'll definitely get bigger.
I think the NLO needs to continue to grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good style of lacrosse.
Oh yeah,
that's good style of lacrosse. Not that PLL isn't. That's just big field. See a lot of running. I enjoy that. When they're in there mixing it up, I mean that's when we really enjoy. We're going through the legs. How about old Cuz?
Highlights are sick.
Yeah,
Trainer.
Chris Kavanaugh.
No.
Matt Trainer. Yeah, he had a filthy behind the back too.
Trainer goes behind the back like his first goal or whatever in PLL. Filthy.
And that wasn't like a catch in front of the net behind the back. That was like he was dodging down the right side. It was a long behind the back goal. It was nasty.
Yeah, it was absolutely nasty. Speaking of nasty, Caitlin Clark and the Fever and the Connecticut Sun got into it a little bit last night. Obviously, it all started with an eye gouge into a knockdown from JC Sheldon, who is an Ohio girl, from what I've been told by AJ Hawk, who said she's not scared of nothing. And I believe Marion Mabry, who knocks her down. Later in the game, Caitlin Clark would pull up on JC, splash it, and then talk her shit to the entire bench. At the very end, what we weren't able to get before, she hits her chest. Yeah, boom. She's the one.
Yeah.
She is everything. She'll get after the refs. She'll get into some scraps. And immediately afterwards, she said, I'm here to talk about basketball. I mean, she's a needle mover, and she's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham. Don't look now. The Fever are about to win WNBA title, just like they're about to win the Commissioner's Cup. Also in WNBA, Sabrina Ionescu goes absurd. She has another 30-plus games, 34 points, and goes absolutely maniacal out on the basketball court. And I think if you think about the future after this NBA series is over after 7 games, okay?
If needed.
God willing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Amen.
Yeah.
If tomorrow night isn't the last NBA game, which we don't think it will be, we think it will go to a game 7. We believe that. Then all eyes are on WNBA, baseball, and the NFL.
Okay.
Golf.
And I think the WNBA right, and golf, a lot of golf.
F1.
I think
Tennis.
Wimbledon.
Forget
Soccer.
the F1 movie.
F1.
Definitely. But
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
Tennis,
reviews
though.
early.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. But the WNBA, if you just kind of zoom out a little bit, there's a lot of good storylines brewing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff brewing out there. Now, is Caitlin Clark going to continue to just go splash, 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 splash for the rest of the season? Possibly. There is a chance that happens. And if she continues to play like this, which is, Caitlin Curry Clark-ish, where she's pulling up from everywhere and it's falling, it's like she's going to continue to be must-watch. I don't know if it's going to get to 20-some million. Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
A parody account reported,
Good.
and everybody did that. But I think Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham, I think they are going to become must-watch, and I think it's good for the city of Indianapolis.
What are the odds right now for the Fever to win it all? I know Caitlin is up there with the MVP, probably with Big Feast out in Minnesota.
I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Yeah, big time.
Gouged in the eye.
It was an intentional eye gouge.
Did you see the fan cam? Smack right in the eye. Smack right in the eye. Here it is. Boom. Go back.
She gonna have to wear goggles for the rest of this?
Boom. Right to her eyes.
Some rec specs.
Boom.
And then she bobs her, too.
Then she bobs her, JC Sheldon. And then Mabry comes in and goes, what are you doing?
I just got poked in the eye.
Rivalry's great. Rivalry is great for the league.
Yeah, but every team does this. Like last year with her, I feel like she didn't respond as much because she almost looked at it like, okay, I'm a rookie.
Cut my teeth.
Yeah, let me cut my teeth in the W. That makes sense. This year, they're taking no shit. It is so awesome to see.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm happy she's got Sophie on the team.
Yep.
She needed that.
Yeah.
She needed that on the team, and I wouldn't mind maybe some of the other members of the team, doing some stuff.
Send some messages.
I think rookie year, I know it's hard to it's a tough pill to swallow. Like, hey, this new one to the league is the one. Nobody really wants to acknowledge that. I think now we understand, right? I think now we're at the point of, hey, let's go. We got it. And that Fever team's filled with stars.
Oh, yeah.
We need them to start finishing.
At the rack?
Catch and finish, yeah.
Who?
You talking about the Fever?
The teammates, because you got to get used to playing with a player like Caitlin Clark, because obviously she's a scorer, she can shoot from anywhere, but her passes, like, it's something very different as well. Like, if you're playing with a Joker, LeBron, Luka, those stuff, like, you got to catch and finish. I mean, that's 4 or 5 more assists, obviously 10, 12, however many more points. Like, got to catch and finish. But, yeah, she's a dog. She's a stud. I will be excited to see how the rest of the season unfolds.
How's the league, continue to, because if there's just going to be Ohio girls on every team just cheap shotting her and gouging her eyeballs.
Yeah.
AJ, you love JC Sheldon, you said last night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's from Dublin, Ohio. Like, I watched her play at Ohio State a few times. I mean, she never stops. She's like Steph Curry, always running, always moving. But, yeah, I haven't really seen this kind of scrappy side to her. So, yeah, rivalry's great for any league. We know that.
Yes, I agree. Cheap shots can't be happening, and it always happening to Caitlin is certainly going to be a storyline. But with that being said, the Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point. And I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like we're singular focus of next game. I'm getting better. Let's keep it rolling. She's a star. She's a dog. And the WNBA seemingly on the rise.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get the hell out of here, AJ. Let's do some universe shots, actually.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Universe.
Kind of hot right now.
Kind of hot.
No OT last night.
Yeah.
No.
Missed that one, I guess.
Ass kick.
Tyrese Halliburton playing tomorrow or not?
Boom.
Yeah.
Let her
He's playing,
fly.
but what can he do? Is he going to have a different role? Is he going to post up in the corner and drain threes?
Okay, so what's this one for?
That's
just if he's playing.
Yeah, for him to play.
Halliburton been 90% at least.
Yeah. Come on.
I like that.
At least we need him. We don't need him out there at 60%.
Yep.
Shit.
All right.
It might be 89.
Maybe do 100.
Hallie at
80%.
At 80.
Okay.
This is.
You never know. You
Still got time.
You
Still got time to rehab.
Go keep shooting. It's money.
Okay.
Come on. It's gone.
Damn.
75.
We could live with 75.
75%.
We could live with 75.
I think he would love to be 75.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. That was him.
Fuck, man.
Halliburton just playing tomorrow.
That look like Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Him just playing.
Miles didn't deserve that.
Like Nemhard.
This is for Tyrese to play tomorrow?
Just for him to play, yeah.
Come on, Tyrese. We need you.
It's a big shot.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Fuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it slipped coming out.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
right.
the universe is screaming louder than it's ever yelled before.
We're doing them today, though, for a reason.
Yeah, because we got some more.
And it's game time decision, so tomorrow's the only day that matters.
Yeah, you're right, because that's game day.
Boom.
Game time, game day.
Boom.
What are we even shooting for?
Fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing so many more advanced techniques of healing tonight.
He said that that they're doing everything to it. They're doing everything to it.
Whoa.
Is it a calf?
Calf strain, I believe, is the most recent conversation. Calf strain.
Gotta rub that thing.
Not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah.
Not a ton you can do.
Evaporated
You can do
milk.
everything. Do it all.
Tricky
so good
Ricky's
luck.
got it.
Mitt had some stim on his back.
That's right.
At the office the other day.
Yeah, yesterday.
He's
What?
moving around much better today.
Yeah, if Tyrese's calf responds to stim the way that Mitt's CVS purchased stim
That's what I
kit,
say, yeah. You get the Walgreens as seen on TV aisle and you see the STEM unit.
yeah, he strapped himself up to it, 2 of them, because he hurt my back.
How do you explain how do you explain having the stim on?
Magnetic force.
Magnetic pulses.
I never seen a kid that age as stiff as that kid all the time.
I know I'm stiff. Yesterday I was too.
He gets in a car wreck every other week, I feel like.
Yep.
He's done with the car wrecks, which is kind of a cool thing.
Hopefully.
let's
For
keep it
now.
He's done.
Now he's doing 2 days in the gym, and I think he's just,
Yeah.
Wreck.
He's muscle bound.
he is.
He's getting ready for Love Island.
Yeah.
Heard that was back. Is Love Island back?
Oh, yeah, it's almost every single night. It's every night but like 2 days of the week, and it's absolutely fucking chaos. Let me tell you guys this. America has control over these people, and they have no idea what's going on. It's awesome.
Okay, so we're getting into that time of year right now.
Yeah.
There's some great shows coming out soon.
Okay, go on.
Next week is the Bears season 4.
Chef, that's Yes Chef?
Yeah, it's Yes Chef, which is fantastic show. The F1 movie is coming out very soon. The Friendship movie with Tim Robinson, really good. Highly recommend that movie. Let me see what else.
Happy Gilmore 2?
Happy Gilmore 2. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go. Yes.
Come on. Gotta have hope.
Schefter said Scotty was there. Rory was there.
Yeah, Scotty's, I bet, a great actor. But
Sandman. I agree.
No, it's Sandman. I know it's going to be a banger.
I just watched Hotel Transylvania 2 this morning with my daughter. I'll have you, Ed. Sandman's only throwing bangers.
Stick. Oh, yeah. Stick on Apple TV with Owen Wilson. I have watched the first 4 episodes. It's got some Ted Lasso in it. I don't know if it's as funny as Ted Lasso thus far, but just Wilson being Wilson, and there's cool golf shots in it.
We were going to talk to Owen for that show, I think, and that got moved.
Oh.
That's a bummer. I would have liked to talk to Owen.
Yeah.
I would have thanked him for everything he did for our development, you know. Him and Vince had quite a run there.
Yeah, they did.
Now they're both at Apple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bad Monkey, Stick.
Stick, yeah. Feels like whoever was like the leader of shows there was like, hey.
Our age.
But yeah, like let's bring in the old guns and let's have them throw some heat.
Anything we haven't covered that we need to talk about? John Morant says he's going to be in Memphis. That's been an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
That's gotten really loud.
Yeah, he's got a huge contract.
And also, they fired the coach, I thought, because
Correct.
Bingo.
they were going with Ja. But then there's conversation about maybe Ja on the move, who wants to go to Memphis. It's like, we've been in Memphis a few times.
Yeah.
We've been in Memphis a few times. I was walking in Memphis.
Walking in Memphis.
Walking in Memphis. Walking in Memphis.
That's where Graceland is.
Correct.
Outside of Memphis a little bit, yeah. Certainly is.
And Elvis Land.
That song's about that a little bit. I watched in America's Got Talent act.
Still going on?
Yes, it is. This is not from the current version of the show. I don't know what the current version is. That used to be my dream job. That used to be my end game. I would like to get to America's Got Talent and be a judge. That is where I want to end. Because I just want to maybe 60, 70 milligrams. Okay?
Sure.
Maybe have some vitamins and then just have the world's best performers come in and do the most obscure shit.
Great gig.
That's a great gig.
Not a bad gig.
That is
Not
a
bad.
great gig, especially as somebody that likes to watch people do the amount of that was dream gig for a while. I don't know where they are now. Obviously everything runs its course. You kind of do your thing. I assume there'll be a new talent coming out of there. But there was flippers, guys that did flips. Like there was like a flock of like 6 flippers.
Cirque du Soleil.
These dudes hit back handsprings, back flips all the way down Beale Street. It was like 6 blocks simulated.
Gymnast?
Boom. Yeah, like 6 of them just banging the boom, Got one guy had music, jukebox, and he was like running in between them as they were. It was like literally like a flock of flippers were coming down, and I just had to.
Where are they from?
That was in Memphis.
Oh, they're black dudes.
No, I think the guy on the beatbox was a white gentleman.
Okay.
Was a white gentleman.
But he wasn't flipping?
He was. I think he was keeping
vibe.
Yeah, he was a big vibes guy. Big vibes
guy.
Like Aura Khan.
We saw him down at TST. Does have good aura. It almost. He came up to say hello, and I could feel it. But we've had good times in Memphis.
Yeah.
We've had good times.
Memphis is beautiful. I love Memphis.
I haven't.
You haven't?
That's just you.
What are you talking
You got to go back.
They have a Cabela's down there that's shaped like a pyramid.
Oh. They got some good Q down there, too.
Great Q down there. Memphis barbecue.
Yep. Tough fighting off the flies. We're trying to get on top of it, but
There was some homeless as well that were flocking.
Part of it.
Interesting city.
It is an interesting city. Good luck, Memphis. Good luck.
Good luck.
John Moran say he's staying down there in the 901. I like that. A lot of things getting so loud these days, like maybe too loud. How about this not being loud enough? Yankees are dead.
Nah, they do this every June, unfortunately. It's the most goddamn frustrating thing of all time. But, they get a massive lead in the division, which they have done. And I don't know if Aaron Boone just says, all right, boys, just take off the next 15 games. We can lose 15 in a row. That's fine. It happens all the time. It fucking sucks. I mean, for them to go, basically, 4 or 5 games scoreless, that's not good.
I don't know if you've heard.
I have heard.
AJ, what's the best thing to find out about a team you're a fan of? Players only meeting happening.
I think this is different. I think this is different in baseball than it is football, though.
What do you mean?
Because you're playing so many games and coach. The only thing Aaron Boone has control over are pitching decisions when guys are going to come in, and then the lineup. But these guys can I think they can everyone listens to Judge. He can look at a guy and be like, hey, you're fucking pressing. You need to take better at bats. Stop swinging at the first pitch every single fucking time you're up there and grounding out to third base. I'm looking at you, Anthony Volpe. Stop fucking doing that. Let's get deeper into the counts here. And maybe, hey, listen, I'm the big swinging dick in here. We got Giancarlo Stanton back. So you, guy who's batting 8th in the order, guess what? You don't need to be trying to hit a fucking home run every single at bat. And
Giancarlo's back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's been
I didn't
mashing
know
the
that.
baseball. Only 2 games, but he's, I believe he's currently 3 for 6. He's batting 500 on the season. So, but this is one of the kind of things where, if they don't nip this in the bud right now, you could end up losing fucking 12 games in a row, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You're not leading the division anymore.
I think you guys are still the kings of New York, I think, because I saw Juan Soto get thrown out on a fly ball.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
$750 million.
Yeah.
He's starting to hit dingers, though. He's mashing now.
He's starting to come on.
Yeah.
Which, it was always coming. It was always kind of just, let's laugh and get our jokes in while he's not playing well because he's going to start hitting.
Yeah, Juan Soto?
Yeah.
Jet Passon is reporting from an airplane that players-only meetings are not bad in baseball.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, keep your fucking eye on the ball.
What would he know?
That's, I guess, the only
It's face
sport.
of baseball. Let's talk about another sport. Obviously, only 1 day a year do we get to watch it. Competitive eating. The GOAT has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Josh Chestnut, the world record-setting hot dog eater, will be back at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on 4th of July. Thank you so much.
Congrats, Joe.
He's going to be
Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Joey, for doing that. He made the announcement himself in a 3-poster, as you can see there, 1 of 3. And he talks about how while I have and continue to partner with a variety of companies, including some in the plant-based space, those relationships were never a conflict with love of hot dogs. To be clear, Nathan's is the only hot dog company I've ever worked with. A lot of people were saying that I was potentially eating vegan dogs. They weren't vegan dogs. They were vegan burgers. I respect that there were differences in interpretation, but I'm grateful we've been able to find common ground. I'm excited to be back on the Coney Island stage doing what I live to do and celebrating the 4th of July with hot dogs in my hands. Stay hungry, Joey Josh Chestnut. So, Joey Josh is back. Sorry about it to fucking everybody else trying to down dogs. The GOAT is back. And I remember when he stopped the rainstorm and he said, we're going to eat these fucking hot dogs for the good of America. I think we all remember where we were when that took place.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait for that to be back. That's a storied tradition that is run by one man, an American man, who loves his duty on 4th of July.
Yeah.
And that's Joey Josh Chestnut.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was also the one who put the protester in the mean headlock when the guy came up on
While
stage. Right?
eating.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
still broke a record with the dog.
That's right.
Put him down.
And you got to respect it more, too. I witnessed firsthand at the Colts game this year. I think it might have been the Big Ten Championship. What the aftermath of is Joey Josh Chestnut eating.
About that.
And it's violent, folks. This isn't just like, hey, we're going to eat and have fun. I've seen him banging on the door of a stall trying to get in there. And it is a sad sight for one, because the guy inside is panicking, and it is a scary sight for 2, because the guy on the outside, Joey Josh Chestnut in this situation,
is about to explode.
Had about 40, 50 ounces of St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail sauce. And
Shrimp.
Let's just say I know he brought multiple pairs of pants with him to that game.
Connor comes back to the seats that we were in for that game, and he goes, I just witnessed history. And what happened? He goes, Joey Josh Chestnut is currently evacuating everything from the St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail contest in that bathroom right there. And we asked him how he knew, and he obviously told the story of Joey Jaws panicking, coming in, trying to open the stall. It's locked, banging on the outside of it. Code red, code red.
Hurry up, please.
World record code red. And we've also seen Joey Jaws Chestnut. Not only is he great with shrimp cocktail sauce and wings and hot dogs, we saw him down 13 pints of beer in 70 seconds.
That's right.
And then he took down, I think, a bottle of vodka.
He did.
And then I think a bottle of tequila.
Yep.
Bud.
And he's not a professional drinker. He's a professional eater. There are professional drinkers as well. He could dabble in that world if he wanted to from our own experience. Joey Jaws Chestnut, Indiana Hoosier, lives here in Indiana. We're very proud that he's back representing on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Love you, Jaws.
I mean, I understand he's a Nathan's guy. I just implore you, Jaws, try a fucking Hebrew National. Change your life.
I thought you were talking ballpark.
What do you mean? Well, ballpark Frank, shoot, yeah, of course. Kidding me?
I thought Oscar Mayer was the
Big O.
They had the race
No,
at the Indy
Oscar
500.
Mayer is not the fucking creme de la creme. It's
What are you talking about? I seen, they're Indy 500 racers.
yeah, the Oscar Mayer wiener guy.
I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener.
Hebrew Nationals are fucking top notch. Unbelievable hot dogs. Unbelievable.
I like hot dogs.
Me too. And I haven't put hot dogs on the grill and
Oh, my God,
I don't
it's
know
summer.
how long.
Gotta
I know.
do it tonight.
I know. I think I might.
So we just welcome in Joey back, just open arms.
Yes!
Just left us high and dry on 4th, and we just.
No, it was a
Are you
misinterpretation.
shitting me?
It was a
Welcome back.
misinterpretation.
I'm just asking.
After what you said this morning,
I'm
to
just
bring
asking.
this up
I don't like
now?
that there was an opportunity for a misinterpretation.
Well, the opportunity was because Joey Jaws Chestnut is such a hot commodity. Some vegan place wanted to give him some burgers.
Did he do the hot dog eating competition last year?
Yeah, and he fucked up Kobayashi on Netflix.
On what?
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Netflix.
So no, he didn't do the hot dog eating contest.
What day?
They didn't allow him to
Yeah,
do that.
that's not his fault.
Oh, they just out of the blue said, "Hey, you're not doing the competition anymore."
You don't want Jaws to get paid, bruh?
Just don't. I don't like it either.
I don't want to hear you guys talking shit about my live guys. Then they going.
We
their money
don't.
grab.
Live sucks.
We talk
Steve.
shit about the
Sorry.
organization, not
This is
about the
kind of-
players.
I think that's all going to get sorted, by the way, relatively quickly.
I hope so.
Roll that.
I think roll up. Roll up, roll up, roll up.
Roll out.
Bah, bah.
Well, fingers crossed he can beat Turkey a la Turkey in a game of Fatal Fury Streets of Wolves, because that's what it's going to come down to. So,
Which is a tough game.
it is.
Tough game, too.
Turkey Al Sheik.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. No, that's kind of just a nickname for him, Turkey a la Turkey.
Yeah, great gamer.
Yeah, he is.
Great gamer.
Great
We learned
game.
that.
That's his
City
gaming
of
tag,
Wolves.
actually.
Yeah.
Great game.
Great game. City of Wolves. Booker T took on, I believe, Boston Connor in that game. No, me? I played a game.
You
We
did.
played a few, yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah, you played me and Booker T.
I'm doing a lot of finger button mashing on
Yep.
that thing.
How'd you do?
Oh, finger
You
match.
good?
Travis Kelce is talking from mandatory minicamp. First of all, I never said that. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. I am down some weight. Okay. Jeremy Fowler reported, look out for him, maybe be down 25 pounds. He said, whoa. 25 pounds, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. Maybe 10, 15.
Yeah, you can tell.
Noticeable. Good jawline.
Does look.
Looks taller.
Was he at the game last night?
No.
I don't know, actually.
No.
I don't think they mandatory minicamp.
You would have known.
You would have known, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe they said, we just came here to watch puck.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Who's the skinny guy with the beard? You know?
Let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're the luckiest people on earth that we get to do this for a living. We appreciate you so much. We're going to announce some winners of the Topps card.
Oh, nice.
So the reason why it took so long for the Topps card giveaway to happen is because we didn't receive our.
Yeah.
So I'm giving away signed cards. Didn't get until very recently. So now that we have them, we will announce the winners. I will sign those. We will get those in the mail soon. Congrats to Darius J. Butler and the Florida Panthers fans for winning the Stanley Cup.
Good work,
But
You're boozing pretty good today.
Mm-hmm. Had to.
you gonna go get in the golf cart with the boys?
I may want to get down there Sunday. Parade.
Is that when it is?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
Out
be
of
on
the
the
beach.
float.
Have to
Gotta
go.
be there.
Got to be there.
Try to make my way on the float.
Hammered.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
He'll have a hoodie on too.
No,
Be 100 degrees.
down there.
By the way, temperature not bad today.
Not bad
No,
at all.
nice.
no, it's been, I wouldn't have worn this if it wasn't strictly for USA keeping the cup.
Did you change it?
Yeah, I put it on right before the show.
No, did you change the temp?
No.
Oh, it's the same?
I would never do that.
Same.
68.
I don't think it's the same, but
It is also hot as shit outside. It's so humid outside today.
A lot of steam coming.
A lot of steam.
Storm's coming this afternoon.
Hey, if you can feel it.
You taste it.
You guys.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. We're in this thing together. We're back tomorrow. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.